Broadcasting from their world headquarters in Texas, it's the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show. The show that discusses arcade repair, restoration, news, and more. Now, here are your hosts, Tim and Jonathan.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 98 of the Arcade Repair Tips live show for April 2025. My name is Jonathan Leung. I'm the producer, director, and editor here at the Arcade Repair Tips video series. And joining me today as always is Mr. Arcade Repair Tips himself, Tim Peterson. Tim, how are you?
Well, great. Liking the band that ripped a few metal riffs for us tonight. I hope you guys like that.
Yeah, so we've been trying.
Shout out to the band tonight.
Right, we've been trying these different AI kind of generated songs for the intro tonight. So this one, Tim, was 80s hairband metal style, as you could tell. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed that as well. If you want to hear the full thing, we can play it in the after show. But we're always looking for, I guess, different ways to approach the show or to start the show. And so we do have one set up for the 100th already, Tim. I already got one ready for that. Have not done one for 99 yet. So maybe we need to come up with something for that. But anyway, guys, we're so glad that you're here tonight. We got some questions to answer. We have some fun to have, Tim. Actually, we're going to be doing some different things. You'll find out as we go on. It's always good to have surprises, right?
Something new, yeah.
Exactly. Before we get too deep, though, Tim, I do want to mention that our area, we're just on the cusp of like a tornado watch right here. And so if all of a sudden like the internet drops out or something like that, I'm sorry, probably weather related. So we will be recording this for posterity regardless, and we'll upload it later if we do have issues during the live broadcast. So just hang with us if that happens. Hopefully we'll come back soon and we'll just see where we go, right, Tim?
Right. You know, tornado season in Texas pretty much was February till November.
Yeah, pretty much.
You never know around here, but this time of year especially seems like the storms kind of pop up and out of nowhere.
But besides the weather, Tim, how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing good. You know, another month flown by. You think things are going to slow down? They never do. Just things keep going. You might remember we had a big announcement last month when I had my granddaughter. Yep. She's now a little over a month old. She's grown 2 inches and gained 3 pounds. So we're really glad that she's growing. I can tell when I pick her up now, I don't feel so like I'm going to break her so much. Now I don't mind holding her. So been enjoying her. Not any trips lately. I've had so much. We've got some new customers. I'm doing a lot of stuff here and don't see any in the future, maybe till at least May. So, you know, it's kind of good to be at home and get a few things done. Seems like lots of repairs at the house. Told you we got a dishwasher coming, had to replace the garage door. Mm-hmm. It's always something, right? Some sprinkler heads, you know, that kind of stuff. So that seems like that has been consuming a lot of my time. What have you been up to?
You know, just the normal, Tim. Obviously, house maintenance is definitely important, like you mentioned, but we've also just been trying our best to kind of stay dry. It's been kind of a wet season, I feel like, here recently, and so we did have, like, it's weird. It'll go through, like, a week of dry, a week of wet, I feel like. It's nice because I don't have to run the sprinklers all the time, but, you know, we're trying to, you know, we've kind of made a resolution, Tim, to kind of try to get the game room back in shape. As you can see, it's still kind of trashy. Sorry you guys can't see it. I'd be embarrassed if you did. So, but we are trying to get it in better shape. Hopefully that will happen. So, but Tim, before we get on with any more questions or anything, let's check in with our live chat, Tim. And it is already very lively this evening, I can tell you. So, Delusional Arcades here. He says, hi, everyone.
What's up, Dale?
We have the real hammer, Billy Lee is here.
Hey, Billy.
Now, Apollo72 says he cracked the glow tube on his 13-inch monitor. Can those be replaced, Tim?
No, not normally. I mean, if
you can't fix it.
Yeah.
And 13 inches can be
replaced.
It can be replaced,
but it can't be fixed. I guess I'm thinking of could that part be fixed or something? No, you could replace it.
Yeah. So you can replace it if you can find a 13-inch compatible tube. That is the challenge, though, right, Tim?
Very challenging, you know, especially that size.
Yeah, I was about to say, that size is a little bit more challenging than some of the other sizes that we come across. Obviously, 25s, Tim, pretty common. 19's pretty common, but when you're talking about 13s, maybe a little bit tougher to find. You can check with like a junkyard or somewhere that may have tube TVs and see what you find. So let's see. Real Hammer Billy Lee says, if the glass tube of the neck is broken, then unfortunately it can't be replaced. You'd have to replace the whole tube. That is correct. So,
exactly.
Let's see. Millstar Electronics is here. He says, how's it going?
Hey.
There you go. So going on here. It looks like Bobby Broadway also chimed in on Apollo's question, Tim. I'm just going to leave that there. Robbie J says 2 more till 100.
Well, we're getting close.
I know. Are we going to get there?
I hope so.
I don't know. So we'll see.
Hope we get way past there, but we're shooting for 100 these days.
Real Hammer Billy Lee said another awesome intro, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. NTR Presence here says good evening. Peter's here says hello, guys. Let's see. Bobby says that Micro Center has cheap T-molding. Millstar Electronics was saying what's your damages for T-molding. He says that Micro Center has cheap T-molding. Tim, anywhere else to get a good deal on T-molding?
Well, I used to always just buy it from tmolding.com, straight from a source. But I haven't bought any in a while. Normally, most of our parts suppliers are not too expensive.
Right.
Most of them, especially, if you're going to buy and you're already doing some artwork or something, a lot of them sell it. I mean, it may be $1 or $2 difference, but not really enough to make a difference. Just make sure you're buying enough for your game.
There you go. Let's see what else we have here. NGR President, what are your thoughts of the effects of the tariffs on our industry? I will tell you that in Canada, we are not buying any new pieces this year. Crazy, but unfortunate. Yeah. So the tariffs are playing a role, obviously, in the pricing of arcade games, of all things, Tim.
Right.
Now, with that said, I think a lot of the new ones coming out will be priced in with that already. So that'll be a little bit different. Now, as far as stuff coming from the United States going out to other countries, obviously you may experience some price increases at that point. And so just check with your distributors and see what they're offering. Tim, we talked last time in the after show how we don't expect the tariffs hopefully to last too long, maybe a maximum of 6 months, hopefully. Yeah. So if that's the case, you may want to wait until, all of the tariff mess has been kind of sorted out before you purchase. So just something to keep in mind.
And we may talk about that a little bit more in the after show.
For sure, yeah. But I mean, it is going to have an effect because you got to remember, like you think about Sega parts, Tim, a lot of those do come from Japan. You think about other manufacturers that are not U.S. based, those parts are going to come from different places. And even U.S. based manufacturers will have some parts that come from overseas. And so
I would assume a lot of our arcade parts come from overseas, over somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's like Taiwan, Tim, a lot of Asian countries, Japan, maybe even India. And so with that in mind, there will be increases on those parts. And so, like I said, just get with your distributors and your part suppliers and see if there's any markups or anything. And they may advise you to wait as well, just depending. So, Geeklight08 is here. He says, evening all.
Good evening.
And I think we're caught up on the live chat.
Okay.
So we have some questions tonight, as we mentioned. Now, Tim, last month, you may notice that we kind of did away with the quick question and answer, and tonight we did that as well. We haven't been getting quite the quantity of questions that we normally get, Tim.
Okay.
But I think it's allowed us to have a little bit more fun. Last month we did the March Madness bracket, which was really fun, and we celebrated.
It was a neck and neck, almost last second buzzer.
That's right. And then we also did your birthday celebration.
We did.
And so tonight we're doing something kind of fun like that, and we're gonna do my birthday celebration. Right. So I'm looking forward to that. So. Coming back over one more quick one here. It says game glitches, problems, and Unreal Tournament maps is the YouTube user Tim. And they say, what do you suggest for a main cabinet for the USB encoder board? Mine keeps stopping working, I guess, but I think it's because they are cheap. Yeah, so in the past, we've always used Ultimark. Now, Ultimark is a little bit more expensive. The KeyWiz stuff is really good too, but if you're the main thing that we would recommend is to get one that has a memory chip on board. Not one that you have to program every time your computer boots up. Does that make sense?
Right.
So some of the lower end keyboard encoders, in order for you to use them, you have to run a program at startup when your computer basically starts up with it that'll reprogram the keyboard encoder every time. And it only holds it as long as there's voltage being supplied to the keyboard encoder. Really, you want to step up from that and get one that actually has a memory chip on board that you can program that memory chip, and then it just stays there. It doesn't matter whether or not the cabinet or the encoder is getting powered. Does that make sense?
Very much.
That's what you want to get. You want to get one with an onboard memory chip that you don't have to. You program it once and done, right? And so the Ultimark encoders, I think, except for their low end, are all like that. KeyWiz is the same way, but just look for. It should say that it has an onboard memory. If it says it has onboard memory, more than likely that's what you want. So look for something that has onboard memory when looking for those keyboard encoders, and that will make an awful big difference in just the amount of time you have to spend messing with it, which is an important thing. So, Tim, as we say, you want to spend less time fixing the game than playing the game in most cases.
Exactly.
So, there we go. Real Hammer Billy Lee says, I used one from Ultimark, had it for many years, and never had a problem. Yeah, we have used countless Ultimark encoders with really good luck. Tim, we still use keyboard encoders at my job in order to hit buttons in our manufacturing line.
Oh, okay.
And so we buy the KeyWiz ones with the memory chip on. So I can attest to those, that those have been very reliable as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, because you have physical, like, sometimes, guys are okay hitting keyboard buttons, but if you just want a start-stop button, it's a lot easier to just have a physical stop-start button than to, hit S on the keyboard.
Right.
So that's why keyboard encoder comes in very handy. So let's see. Millstar Electronics, how's this CRT monitor? How the CRT monitor is troubleshoot for tube swap? I think he's talking to Apollo earlier, Tim, there about the tube swap for the 13-inch. And so,
thank you guys for helping each other in the chat room tonight.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
It seems busy over there tonight, so we may not be able to keep up with all. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got some very knowledgeable people in the chat. We know for a fact. We've got Delusional's Arcade over there, Tim, so we know he's got a lot of experience. We've got a lot of our regulars here, like Real Hammer Billy Lee, Tim, that can chime in on some of those questions as well. So if we don't get to it, we feel pretty confident that somebody else can do that as well. So we will try our best as always. But now, Tim, before we move into questions for this month, we actually have an update.
Good.
Now, you may remember last month that we had John Q. And John Q had a problem with his Golden Axe board.
I remember that.
So basically, it's like it would start for a second and then stop. Like it would get to almost boot and then it wouldn't boot, right? And so he sent back a couple of updates here, Tim. And so I want to read those real quick just so we can.
We talked about it probably was dying.
Right? Yeah, we thought it was a suicide issue.
A suicide issue.
Right, we thought it was a suicide issue. So he wrote back and said, "Thank you so much for making me a part of your show. I did end up finding and talking with the crew at SegaResurrection.com the other day, and as soon as they acquire a batch of processors, they are sending one my way along with the 2 unencrypted ROM chips for me to try. I suppose I will replace all the RAM after that if this doesn't solve my problem. I'm super handy with the soldering iron, and I love to use it any chance I get. Again, I'll reach out to you and let you know how it goes. I will do anything to keep from lugging this out to the curb, as the machine is in really great shape. Otherwise, thank y'all. You're doing God's work." So there you go, Tim. Now, he did actually send back an update as he promised. And he said, "Good afternoon. I just wanted to reach out and let y'all know that my Golden Axe machine was indeed suffering from the CPU suicide situation. A new CPU and a couple of unencrypted ROM chips from SegaResurrection.com was all it took to bring it back to its former glory. Thank you so much for your insight. Cheers, John Q." So, Tim, always good to hear success stories like that, and the fact that we pretty much nailed what the problem was. That's always good too.
If you guys watch, some of you, we're fixing to hit 100 episodes. This reminds me of the early days when we had the Ring the Bell.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
that was in the QA podcast days. Oh, my
we would do the Ring the Bell, like when something. So we're going to ring the bell and congratulate him on getting his game. And I love the update.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you guys please send updates. We love the updates anytime we get them. And we try to, if it's something we covered on the show, we will try to update everybody here as well, so that way you guys know. And so in John Q's case, like we said, we covered it last month, and we were able to get a really great report. We're so glad, John Q, that you got your Golden Axe board back up and running. Now, here's the thing. Even if you wouldn't have got that board running, that's no excuse to throw out a good cabinet. Right. Multi-game boards are plentiful, right, Tim? Right. But we're glad you didn't have to go that route. We're glad you got that Golden Axe board back up and running. And we hope that you and your friends have a lot of fun playing that in the future. So, right. Coming over to the live chat here, Tim. Let's see. Millstar says, speaking of Sega System 18B, Golden Axe, Shinobi, Alter Beast, E-SWAT, and more can be swapped into as another game. That is correct. So anything that's a part of that System 16B board set, Tim, he could swap in there very easily. So it's pretty much plug and play, which we really like. So, but I mean, Golden Axe is such a good game, and if you have a nice cabinet with good artwork on it, man, keep it, right? Keep it original. It's always good to do. But if you want to play something else, it's always an option. Now, Tim, let's go into the first question for this month. The first question, this one is from JD. And, Tim, this is on a game that, to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of experience with. And so I'll go ahead and throw it up here so we can discuss it. So JD writes in and says, I have a Polygonet Commanders with a Twinfly LT-150W. And he says in parentheses, Masco part number 17-0150 power supply. I'm having trouble locating a replacement. Do you have one? Secondly, I watched your episode on power supplies since I never replaced one. Do you have a different style that I could wire in instead? Thank you. Now, Tim, we could think about his second question first here. So I did a little bit of research and found out that this Masco power supply is basically like an ATX kind of style XT big
square guy.
It's an ATX style, but it's XT, which is a little bit bigger than like your standard ATX style. So it's an XT size power supply. Okay. And so, Tim, these are pretty common in a lot of different cabinets, right? Mm-hmm. So, for the most part, you want to go with the same one. But he asked at the bottom, or at the end there, could he swap in a different type of power supply?
Right. Might have to. Right. Might not can find it.
Yeah. Now, luckily, I found one for a replacement, which is
that's
good.
awesome.
But if you wanted to go like with a standard switching power supply, for instance, that is doable, correct?
Sure, you just have to know your pinouts, which wires, and how you would have to use a different connector or make one in order to make it work. But it's very possible and not that hard.
Yeah, so he could either cut his connector off and wire in those wires directly,
Uh-huh.
or he could just get a connector and fill the connector with pins and then hook those wires to the power supply and then boom.
That's probably how we would do it, so you could still unplug it.
Right, and that is a benefit to having these ATX style power supplies, Tim, is that usually they are unpluggable, which is very easy swap versus like a standard like switching power supply where you have the terminals that you have to unscrew and screw in order to make those connections. And so having the connector there can be handy. Now, Tim, I did do, like I said, the research on it. It has 2 output connectors on it. It has the 9-pin 3x3 DC output connector, which we see on a lot of power supplies. Very common.
Very common.
And then it has a 3-pin AC output connector.
Okay.
So those are the 2 that it has on it. So with that in mind, Tim, pretty much any ATX style power supply, though, should work with those 2 connectors. Those are very common, correct?
Sure. A lot of times, though, with that AC connector, you have to jumper the wires or something. It won't automatically start sometimes if you don't get an arcade kind.
Yeah, it depends on how it's set up,
every
right?
PC one usually has a start button, right?
Right, exactly.
So if you just put like a computer style one in there or from an old computer or something, it might work, but it doesn't always have to start. You have to have a jumper wire or something to make it start. Exactly. Or program it.
For sure. Now, Tim, the good news is that I was able to find him one that has the correct connectors and everything like that. So let me go ahead and throw it up here real quick for JD. So the Masco 17-0150 is a 150 watt ATX style XT size power supply that has a 9-pin or 3x3 DC output connector and a 3-pin AC output connector. While you could wire up a different style power supply like Tim mentioned, such as a standard terminal-based one, we recommend using something like what you have installed in your cabinet already. It makes the replacement way easier, right?
A lot easier.
So this power supply from Twisted Quarter should fit. Be sure to verify the wiring on the 9-pin connector with them before ordering or installing in your cabinet. And Tim, we have a link here, and we also place this link down in the show notes so that JD can just click on it from there and get his power supply. But Tim, the 9-pin connector, very common for DC output on these things. And a 3-pin connector a lot of times will usually go to could go to the monitor, could go to the marquee, could go to a lot of different places. And so you just want to make sure, again, that those connectors match. But Tim, those connectors, for the most part, pretty universal, correct?
Yeah, that should be no problem.
Yeah, but you may just want to verify. You could contact Twisted Quarter and say, hey, I've got, can you guys send me the pinouts for this power supply on the 9-pin? And just make sure that it matches what you have. That's the key. And Tim, I have a picture here of it, which he probably has in his cabinet as well, that shows what's on each of those pins. So that way you can see if you need to. But I can send you a bigger resolution of that, JD, if you need it. Tim, anything else for JD before we move on?
No, good luck. This one I would love to hear an update from.
Sounds good. Possible. So JD, hopefully answers your question. And good luck replacing the power supply in your Polygonet Commander's arcade cabinet. Tim, that is a Konami game. And this power supply is a Konami style power supply. That's the way I found it. So just with that in mind, it also works in Neo Geo cabinets and SNK based cabinets a lot. They use that same XT style ATX power supply in those as well. So try ordering that, hooking it up. Let us know how it goes from there. Okay, coming over, Tim, to the live chat just to make sure that we've caught up here. Millstar Electronics says, by the way, Konami's Polygonet Commanders is known as Polynet Warriors in Japan. So there you go.
Wow.
Fun fact, Tim.
I didn't even know the American-made version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a pretty rare game.
Bobby says, never throw a cabinet away. You can put a PC in it or just that game as a placeholder until you get a new board. But yes, will require a converter board for monitor from PC in most cases. Yeah, exactly. You can put a PC in it. You could put a Raspberry Pi in it. You could put a multi-game board because multi-game boards are so plentiful now. You can get all sorts of that stuff. Now, multi-game boards may start getting more expensive with those tariffs, Tim. But even if they're expensive, exactly, they're still worth the price more than likely. So I never throw a good cabinet away. Agree with Bobby there. Let's see. I think we got everything caught up, and it looks like, again, some of the regulars there are helping Apollo 72 out with his issues. So thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Real Hammer Billy Lee, for that. Good stuff there. Like we said, people helping people, Tim.
Right.
There we go.
It's all about.
Absolutely. Now, Tim, this next question is from Ryan, and this inspired the title for tonight's show, How to Marry These Two. And I'm not talking about us, Tim. We are already married.
Okay,
but How to Marry These Two is the title of the show. And so this question is basically inspired the title, and you'll see why here in a second. But let me throw it up here, Tim, so we can discuss it. Ryan writes in and says, Hi, I found your channel on YouTube, and it's really helpful. I recently bought my first PCB at Capcom Bowling, and I'm having a hard time figuring out how to wire up the 3-inch Happ trackball to the motherboard through the JAMA harness. The trackball wiring comes to what looks like a 6 dock, and I put pin. I put pin, and I put Molex connector there. He just said a 6 dock connector. That's what he said.
Okay.
And on the JAMA harness, the slots that have to do with the joystick wiring have female slip-in or slip-on ends, which I assume are quick disconnect terminals. That's why I put that there. So they have female slip-on ends on them, he says. Continuing. I have no idea how to marry these two, Tim, and I'm pretty sure I can't. I can't find any resources online that say exactly, here's how you connect a trackball to a JAMA harness. I figure you would be a great person to reach out to. Any help would be so greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Ryan. Now, Tim, this is actually pretty tricky if you're not too familiar with arcade repair, right?
Yeah, it can be, and I think we've run across this before. We've had to do it ourselves.
Sure.
So there's lots of ways to do it.
So he's got this 6-pin connector. He's got a 3-inch Happ trackball with a 6-pin connector, and then on his JAMA harness he just has wires with quick disconnect terminals on them, and he's trying to figure out
how to connect them.
These things don't marry, is what they say. So, Tim, what are some options that Ryan has in order to marry his trackball to his JAMA board?
Well, the good news is that it's only 6 wires.
That's true.
You could just literally cut the connector off, strip all the wires, and just connect them straight to each other with wire nuts or whatever. We don't prefer that method. We like to be able to unplug our stuff one day when we're repairing it. So he could get a similar socket that fits that, make pins and put them in there, and then he could do it that way. Or he could get 2 male and female sockets totally different, cut the wires and do it that way. Or he mentioned that it may have the male pins already, or the female ones.
The quick disconnects on them.
So you could get a spade type and just plug into all of them. So there's several ways that you could do it. You could just solder the wires together and put heat shrink over it, but connect them together. There's the main thing is that the wires connect. Up to that, as far as people playing it, nobody would ever know the difference. But as far as personal pride, I just like stuff to be neat, clean, organized, and where you buy another plug is what I would do, and hook the wires up and then plug it into it and make them match. And
the main reason for that, Tim, is that a lot of times you do work on the control panel separately from the rest of the game. Right. If you're doing a control panel overlay, for instance, or something like that. And if you hard connect that trackball to the wiring in your cabinet, it's going to be real hard to just remove the control panel to work on it, right, Tim? And so that's why we prefer the connector. But like Tim mentioned, there's about 1 million different ways to connect these things.
There kind of is.
Yeah.
And we probably have some videos and stuff that talk about that kind of stuff. And we use a lot of different methods. But I just, if you're going to do something, it's only 6 pins. Do it right. Take your time. Learn how to put those pins in there. We've got videos that will help you with that. And just get the right connector. I know, Jonathan, I think you found a connector that you can buy that will match up to it.
Yeah, so we have a lot of parts suppliers, as you guys know. Mike's Arcade is one of our favorites. And I actually found the connector for you, Ryan. I'm going to put this here up on the screen so you can see it. And we will talk about these methods again. So you have a couple of options. Now, Tim, let's talk about the fast, quick option first. Right? Like, okay, I can do it with what I have currently. And that is to cut the terminals off of the wires from the JAMA harness, cut the wires off of the 6-pin connector, and connect the corresponding wires together using wire nuts or another connection method. Tim, we have an entire video on ways to connect wires together, butt connectors, solder and seal connectors, solder and heat shrink. You could just marry them, quote unquote, together that way, and not just bypass the connector, bypass the quick disconnect terminals, and then just connect them together as you need. You can do that. Method 2 is the one that Tim prefers, and I think I do as well, and that's to get the 6-pin plug connector that fits the trackball connector, right, Tim?
Right.
And so you can cut the terminals off of the wires from the JAMA harness, and then you'll need to clip the pin sockets onto those wires, insert them into the plug connector, and then connect the plug connector together with the plug from your trackball.
Right.
Okay, so Tim, you'll see I have a URL in there for that. That's from Mike's Arcade. That's the connector with the pin sockets included.
Wow.
And it's like $2, $3, something like that, okay?
Right.
And so it's not very much. You'll pay more probably to ship it than you will for the item, okay? But that link is also below in the show notes, Tim.
Okay.
So if you need that, method 2 here is definitely the one that we recommend the most.
I think so.
Okay. Now the other option would be you could cut the wires off the 6-pin connector and do spade style terminals on those, and then just connect the corresponding wires together. Basically, quick disconnect terminal and spade terminal. Boom.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, if you do that, you probably want to wrap it with some electrical tape or something like that, just to make sure that you don't have any shorts. That's just another method. Tim, there are probably a million different other ways we can connect these wires together, but overall, we do recommend number 2, which is to go ahead, get the correct connector that you need for the trackball, and then crimp the socket pins onto the wires, insert them into that connector, and plug the trackball and the connector from your jam harness together. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, I know this.
I'm not sure if it sounds a little foreign to you. Be sure to follow up some questions, but watch our video that we.
Yeah, and Bobby says if he goes with the Molex route, he will need the pins. The pins are included with
in
that.
Kit. That's
That is
the big deal.
Exactly, the pins are included with the one from Mike's Arcade.
Yeah.
So if you order that kit, it already has the socket pins in it.
Now you need a crimping tool.
You will need something to crimp it. Now you could use needle nose pliers. You could use a tool. We do like the D-sub crimper,
right?
Which you can find. Several parts suppliers have them, Tim. You can get them on Amazon even. The D-sub crimper is what we like for that because it's kind of designed for that. But you could technically use a freaking like pliers of any kind. Pliers of any kind if it's needle nose or anything else. So you could easily get that. But we do recommend the D-sub crimper. The D-sub crimper is the preferred method.
It's the one I use in a lot of my videos. If you watch them,
we have one on Molex connectors, and so if you want to go check that video out on Molex connectors, you will see the D-sub crimper. And Tim always has his Indian and the TP trick.
Yep.
So there you go. If you watch the video, you'll find out what that is as well. So there you go. But anyway, Ryan, hopefully that will help you marry these two things together. That's what I will say. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. We will try to help you out further. Again, we do recommend that you get the connector from Mike's Arcade and the links below. Click on that and order it. But if you want to go with the direct connection route or some other method, you're more than welcome to. Let us know which way you go, though, and how successful it is for you. Tim, coming over to the live chat real quick. Bobby says, I want to get some Kingpin movie items and Lebowski stuff to decorate my Silver Strike cab. The card reader was removed, so I'm thinking of making that the White Russian mini bar area lit up. So yeah, that's pretty good. Very good. Let's see. Bill says, is there a solution to replace old Raw Thrills PC like for Fast and Furious with a new PC, Tim?
I don't know because a lot of that stuff is proprietary. If you have the dongle or the software, I would think that you could put any PC that would run that software.
Now, some of the Raw Thrill stuff uses proprietary video cards, Tim, so you need to make sure that whatever video card that you have is compatible with whatever software that you're using. Really, Bill, unfortunately, the best thing to do, I say unfortunately just because it's expensive, but it's to contact Raw Thrills and get with them and see what they recommend. They have off-the-shelf PCs for Fast and Furious that they can sell you that'll be ready to go. There are some people on like the KLOV forums that have hacked some of that stuff to get it working on other PCs, and so you may want to check KLOV, arcade-museum.com, the forums there, to see if there's somebody that can help you out with that. I know some people have been working on different like workarounds for that. Tim, if you're using a workaround to connect it, but you have the original software, I feel like that's fine, right? Because I mean, if you already have a Fast and Furious PC that went belly up, and you're going to replace that with a newer PC, maybe with some of the bypasses in there. I mean, I think that's fine because technically the license, you still have the license for it. So, I mean, with that in mind, that's just something to think about. But you may want to check the KLOV forums because there are some people who have worked on the Raw Thrills stuff to kind of bypass some of that stuff, and that may help you. But really, the most official way to do it is to contact Raw Thrills and get with them, and they can help you out. Yep. Tim used to call them all the time.
All the time, yeah. And honestly, they may be even willing to help you more than that if you send them something and said, "Hey, can you marry the two?" Right.
Bobby says you can use a PC with TechnoParrot. TechnoParrot is kind of like a simulator, Tim, for PC style games. Okay. And so yes, you could do that. That's technically, it's technically not the original hardware that you're running on. But again, if you have an original PC with the original dongle and everything, I see no problem with it. I mean, it's like you're just running it basically in a different scenario, but you still have all the stuff. So there you go. Okay, are we caught up? I think we're caught up, Tim.
Okay.
Let us go to our next question from Mike. And Mike writes, I have a 98 Golden Tee that was restored the last couple of years. It almost works now that I've been able to get it back into a place to play. However, there is a glitch in the video. The audio is fine, the menu is fine, static images are fine. Anyway, can you diagnose it and follow up? If I need a new part, are they even available? Thanks, Mike. And he did send a picture, Tim. This is a picture from Mike, and you will notice that the background looks good, but it looks like we're having some sprite issues with the golfer and some of like the lay you can see, and then the wind calibration and the map of the fairway and all that kind of stuff is all kind of blurry.
And so he's got like a gnarly river to come through or something.
Maybe. But obviously we're getting some sprite issues here, Tim. So this is a Golden Tee 98 board, probably too far out for Incredible Technologies to offer support on this.
Probably.
So we won't necessarily recommend you to go there. But Tim, what are some other things that Mike can do to get his board up and running?
Well, we use the term all the time, the ASAP approach. We're going to always start at power. We want to make sure that we dial in our power supply, because if we're getting voltage issues, we can get some graphic issues.
For sure.
So if your voltage is good, then you're going to check the connector between the two boards. Make sure that that's connected real good, because I would even unconnect and reconnect them just in case. Outside of that, you're probably going to have to do some level of board repair.
Right. Now, Tim, there are different variations of Golden Tee 98. There is a single board one and there's a layered board one. Right. And so what Tim is talking about, like if you have the layered board set that has like 2 or 3 board stack on it, you want to make sure that the connections between those boards are good. And so you may want to press down on those just to make sure that everything is going well with that. Now, Tim, you can run the self-test on the board and it will check the GROMs or the graphic ROMs, Tim. And so that's another thing you can do is run that self-test and see if it tells you if any of the GROMs or graphic ROMs are bad. And if they are, you can replace them. Tim, we've talked a lot about hobby ROMs. Being a place where we can buy replacement ROMs. And so you could contact Hobby ROMs if you determine which ROMs are bad, and then just tell them, hey, I need a new set for my Golden Tee 98 board. They can send them to you from there. And so that may be another thing to do. Tim, anything else here before I put the slide up?
Don't think so.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. Now, Tim mentioned the ASAP approach, Tim, that we use here a lot. Always start at power. Incorrect voltage can cause graphical sprite issues like this. Check your power supply with a multimeter to make sure that the voltage is correct. Check it on the game board as well to ensure that there is no voltage drop. If the voltage is good, then you probably have a game board issue. If you have the stacked board set, like Tim mentioned, make sure that there's a good connection between the boards. You may want to press down on those connections, make sure that they are well connected between the boards. Run the board self-test and check that the socketed chips, especially the GROMs on the video board section, depending on which version you have, are making a good connection to the board as well. And see our post and video on inspecting an arcade board for more tips. Tim, I think that pretty much does it. Those GROM boards could definitely be causing this for sure. And so if you've got some corrupted graphics ROMs, you may need to replace those in order to restore this. I notice here, the interesting thing, Tim, is yes, the background is not corrupt, but you also notice that the trackball part with the guy with the hand is not corrupt, and that graphic ROM may be fine. Right. But it may be the other graphic ROMs that are having the issue. And so that's almost proof that, Tim, we may have some that are good and some that are bad. And so that would kind of lead us in that graphic ROM section. Or like I said, if you have the one with the stack board set, there's actually a video board that those ROMs reside on. Tim, anything else for Mike before we move on?
I don't think so.
Sounds good. So, Mike, hopefully that gives you at least a good place to start. Again, power supply first. Let's make sure we're getting good voltage. Run that self-test on the board in the test menu and check those GROMs and make sure that they are well connected to the board, socketed well. And, Tim, they are socketed chips, so you can press down on them just a bit like we show in our video on inspecting an arcade board, which may help them make a better connection to the main board. So just a couple little tricks there, Mike. Let us know if you try those things, if you continue to have issues, and we'll try to help you out further from there. Tim, I feel like we're flying through this tonight.
Seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, we're making good time here.
Everybody wants to get to the activity.
The surprise, the activity.
We're just going to call it an activity.
An activity. Okay,
an activity. I don't want to give it away too much, but stick around for the activity later.
Are you going to be playing the activity, Tim?
I am going to participate.
There we go. Tim will participate in the activity. That's as much of a hint as we're giving you.
Right.
So, and here's the thing. You guys can. This is something that can be done during live, or it can be something that can be done after the fact. So we'll talk about it here in a bit. So Okay, Tim, let us continue on with our next question. Now, Tim, this is from a YouTube user, and the user is Beyond Dreams in Mind 1679. Did I get Beyond Dreams in Mind 1679? And they write, "Hi, I recently split the signal from one arcade monitor to another by making a dual cable from red, green, blue, ground, and sync. But one of the monitor images looks a little wavy. Have some insight about it." Now, Tim, we would do this from time to time. You will see video signals be split. Tim, a lot of times we have the spectator monitor on top of the game.
Right.
We think about games like Dragon's Lair, Tim, that it was so popular and people wanted to see what was going on that they would actually mount a spectator monitor on the top of the cabinet and then wire in an additional output. Now, Dragon's Lair was nice because it was a Laserdisc game, so all they had to do was basically just take like the composite video up to it, so it's a little bit different. But Tim, we have split these video signals out before for a 2-monitor setup, and for the most part it works pretty well. But when you're getting waviness like this, what are some things that Beyond Dreams in Mind 1679 can do in order to eliminate that waviness on that monitor?
Well, first of all, we want to determine, is it a problem with this monitor or is the splitting causing the issue?
Sure.
So does the monitor work separately? Like if you plug in one monitor, it works fine. Plug in the other monitor, works fine. When you split them, doesn't work.
Right.
Or one of them is not working. That'd be my first question, because if it doesn't work individually, it's not going to work separate or together,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
But if it sounds like surely he's done that, maybe, but if it's not, and it only happens when you're doing that, then you may need you're probably losing a little bit of voltage or something. You probably need like a video amplifier board or something, and I'll let you take it from there, John. You probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, so, and Bobby says he may need a signal booster, what we consider a video amplifier, Tim, or shielding may work as well, and grounding is what we'd recommend from there as well. So let's go ahead and throw this up here, Tim, so we can discuss it. So try hooking up the Wavy monitor by itself without the splitter to see if the symptoms still occur, just like Tim mentioned. This should tell us whether or not it's related to the video splitter or the monitor itself. If it's an issue with the splitting, you could try turning up the power supply voltage on the game board just a bit, maybe to 5.05 or 5.1, in order to compensate for the voltage drop. Because, Tim, when we split a signal, we're going to have voltage drop, right? It's just natural, okay? Bit. Exactly. You will have some. And so you could try turning up your power supply just a bit more to compensate for that voltage drop on those red, green, blue, and sync lines, okay? So if it's an issue with the monitor, make sure it's properly grounded. That's very important whenever we get waviness in monitors. Pull the chassis out, touch up any cold, cracked, or broken solder joints. And it's also always a good time when you pull a monitor out, Tim, to maybe do a cap kit, right? If you've got it out, go ahead and do it. And with waviness, Tim, a lot of times this has to do with the power supply issue, which means the power supply on the chassis. And so that means that you do want to make sure you buy the filter caps. For sure. Make sure you get the filter caps if you're going to do that, okay? Because filter caps are very important and are usually used in the power supply sections of monitor chassis. And so if you are having waviness even when the signal is not split, you may want to do the cold, cracked, or broken solder joints. Just repair those, any ones that you see, and then install the cap kit with the filter caps to see if it makes a difference. Tim, anything else here before we move on?
He didn't really mention what kind of cabinet was in.
No, in the 60-in-1 picture, I see Milstar Electronics saying that it wasn't a 60-in-1 that he was doing. That's a picture I found just to show the waviness. So we don't know exactly what kind of game, Tim, to your point. So
yeah, and because let's say that so a lot of times that waviness, like you said, could be caused from just the shielding properly and stuff. So a lot of times you put a monitor on top of a video game, it's right next to the speaker.
Right.
Where it's not down here, but it is up here, and that could cause this issue. So try removing your speaker away or something and see if that takes care of it.
Signal booster.
Maybe a shielding, but
right, a signal booster or a video amplifier would work as well. And Tim, I couldn't find, I was looking for like an RGB style video amplifier off the shelf. You can build one. You can use a couple of transistors in there and get, like, you can build your own kind of signal amplifier if you want. But I couldn't find an off-the-shelf one, unfortunately. Now, you could go with like the CGA to VGA style adapters and then go with like a VGA monitor up for the second one if you wanted to do something like that. And I think those also, Tim, have RGB out as well. So they have RGB out and VGA out, so you get both of them there. That may be a way to go. But I couldn't find an off-the-shelf just RGB amplifier to use. And so you may have to build one if you want to go that route. Let's see. Bobby says race drones use the filter caps when the batteries get plugged in to clear out wireless video signal. There you go, Tim. So yeah, filter caps very important to any kind of power issues that you have.
And a lot of people look at them and go, "Oh, that's tiny. That one looks fine.
It's so small.
I don't even mess with it." replace everything, right?
Yeah,
Leave
and you've
none.
got cap kits a lot of times that won't include the filter caps,
Right.
And it cuts down on cost. But the thing about it is that you may need those filter caps. So I've just always gone with buying the filter caps, and if I don't need them, I don't need them.
For sure.
If you're getting, there are certain, like if you're getting washed out colors, but everything else is fine, you may not need the filter caps. If you're getting fold over, Tim, you may not need the filter caps, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what your symptoms are. But if you're having pulsing or waviness or things that are more power supply related, get the filter caps. Like I said, I just get them now. It's just way easy.
For sure.
But beyond Dreams and Mind, 1679, hopefully that gives you somewhere to start. Try turning up that power supply just a bit to see if it helps. And like you may need a video amplifier like we talked about. But, you know, and try hooking it up without the second monitor just to see if it continues. And hopefully some of the advice that we gave you can help you out with getting that waviness out of that secondary monitor. So, okay, Tim, I think we have the last question for tonight. It's not time yet.
Okay.
Not time yet. Not time yet.
Never mind.
Not time yet. So
Getting close.
This is the last question, though.
Okay.
The last question before we get to the activity. I like how you say activity.
The activity.
So this question is from Jonathan, but we know him as Jumpingeneral, Tim.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jumpingeneral wrote in and says, I have a Sega Hang-On upright. I measured the AC voltage at the monitor Molex connector going to the K7000, and it measures 129.1 volts AC. I get the same reading at the 4-inch fan connector in the cabinet. The power supply is set correctly. The 129.1 volts seems a little high, but I'm not sure. Please help. Thank you, Jonathan, or Jumpingeneral, as we said. Now, Tim, he did send a picture of the inside of his cabinet. Pretty standard setup here. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary for sure. We have an AC line filter there, Tim. We also have our isolation transformer, and it looks like AC power supply as well. Our AC transformer, just general AC transformer instead of just an isolation transformer for the monitor. It looks like it's two-sided. And then we have our standard switching power supply in there. Now, Tim, his question is 129.1 volts AC too high to run the game? Okay, so this is a Sega Hang-On, Tim. This is something that we've had a lot of. And so with that in mind, Tim, is 129.1 volts AC too high?
Yeah. Well, we jump back for a minute. Have we had any experience with a Sega Hang-On upright? Yes.
Yes.
We at one time had probably about 10 of them.
Yes.
And we had all kinds of boards. We were marrying them together to get working ones. But 129 should be okay. It is a little high.
Yeah. But
not way out. I would say we're not over that. I would say a good threshold would be like 110 to 140.
Right.
I think you start getting above even 130 and above. You're 129. I think you're really good. I think you're okay.
There you go. So, Tim, I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here because, I think I'm right with you here. So, actually, 129.1 volts AC should be okay. Most electronic devices that use AC power will operate fine if the voltage is anywhere between 10% plus or minus of the 120 volts AC standard voltage. So about 110 to 140. Close. Not quite, but pretty close. Also, it looks like there are fuses on the main AC line as well as an isolation transformer hooked up to the Wells Gardner K7000 monitor. Both these items should help with any excessive voltage issues that may arise, along with the AC line filter.
Correct.
So he's got a lot of protection on this cabinet already. So if it does reach assuming
critical
his
point.
if it reaches a critical point, the fuses should pop, assuming you've got the right fuses in there. So,
Yeah.
right. But if you have some issues, the fuses are there for protection. The AC filter is there for protection. And
it's a good question though, because I've run across that before, and I've got a plug in one of my rooms, and it runs about 140, and we had a TV in there, no problems, and then it smoked. And it wasn't long after that, we smoked a cable box. And so I'm kind of in that boat right now that at one time it was 146. And I thought, that just seems really high.
That is high.
And so I'm got to do a little bit more trouble. In fact, I've finally said, quit plugging anything into it. We're just, till I get a chance to really see why. And it's the only plug like that in my whole house. It's one in my guest bedroom. So I can attest that when it does get a little high, I have seen what appears to me to be problems. It worked for a couple years with no problems, but then I started having some stuff. We went through 2 cable boxes and a TV.
Wow.
So, and I finally was like, I'm going to quit plugging anything in here, because it would go months and months, no problem. But then it would eventually, something would break in that one plug.
What you might want to do if that's the case is you need to get maybe a UPS of some sort that has some voltage, like voltage regulation in
Right.
it is probably what you need if you're getting that much, Tim.
That's what
That's
I
a
think.
lot. So,
I think so.
but yeah, there you go. Joe says Tim has ground problems in that outlet. You could.
That's my guess, is that there's something going on grounding wise, and one of those things that it's in a guest room, and I've always got something else on top of it, but I really have never even broken it up and looked at it. But my guess would be there's just a grounding issue.
Sounds good.
And we're getting spikes like when the air conditioner comes on or something, getting a surge.
Yeah, so Jumpin' General, as far as the 129.1, we think that's pretty good. Should be no problem there. If you have other issues with your Sega Hang-On, though, let us know and we'll help you out with those as well. So, and of course, Jumpin' General's not here tonight, Tim. Usually he's in the live chat with us. So that's okay, though. Hopefully he'll get to see this after the fact. So we got to your question. Hopefully that helps you out. So, and actually, Tim, I already answered it because he posted it on YouTube. So.
Okay.
Oh, it's time for the activity.
It is time. I'm getting my pad out here.
Okay, so we're going to do a quiz.
My phone.
And everybody can participate. Now, Tim, there's a little bit of a delay between the time that we speak and the time that you see it on the YouTube feed. So we understand that. So we're going to see how this works. I'm not making any promises that it's going to work well, but we're going to try it. Now, Tim, have you ever used Kahoot?
I have used Kahoot.
Okay, so this is like Kahoot, except for using a program called Trivia Maker. And Tim, we're going to do some arcade trivia tonight. So Tim, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the Trivia Maker page, and you guys can go ahead and start signing in while we're talking about it. So here we go. I'm getting it ready here for crowd mode, Tim. Boom. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see if it'll give us the code, and we're in. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to play Arcade Game Quiz 98 for episode 98, Tim. And if you would like to join us and play against Tim, who's getting in right now, then you can go ahead and hit the connect there, Tim. So you will see Tim is going to join the quiz. Okay, join. You have to put your name in there. So you do not have to put your real name when you join the game. You can just put your initials if you want to. You can put your if you have a username that you're using, you can do that. However you want to identify, you can do. But we want you to go to play.triviamaker.com and enter the code 119037. 119037. And as you guys are coming in, it'll show you in the game. So go ahead and hit join game there. Hey, somebody's in there. It's Tim.
I'm in.
So any of you guys who want to join, just open up a browser window and go to play.triviamaker.com and enter the code 119037. And we're going to give everybody a little bit of time before we start, Tim. In fact, I've got a theme song we can play. Let's do it.
Step right up, it's time to play. Tim and Jonathan lead the way. Arcade wisdom lights the stage. Let's unlock this gaming age. Spin that dial, roll the score. Arcade Kings, we're back for more. Fix it, twist it, name the bit. Episode 98, don't you quit.
There we go. So you guys get in if you'd like to play Tim and some arcade trivia. Tim does not know any of these questions ahead of time.
I do not know them.
I did not in any way give Tim any of the answers to these questions. He has no idea what it is. But all you have to do is go to play.triviamaker.com and enter the code 119037. 119037. Now, as we talked about, there is a delay. Okay, there's a delay between what you're going to see on YouTube versus what you're going to see on your handheld. Okay, or what you're going to see in the Trivia Maker. So you need to follow what's on Trivia Maker. Do not follow the YouTube, okay? So when you see it come up, answer the question as fast as you can. Now, what I will try to do is I will try to compensate for that by leaving a little bit of a delay before we move on, okay? So I can kind of see what you guys see, and so we're going to go from there. Tim, we only have three brave souls that I want to go up against tonight. That's it so far.
I'm not that great. These guys are probably going to wax me.
So Bobby's in there, Real Hammer's in there, Geek Glide is in there. Is anybody else in there? Anybody else want to play trivia with Tim? You need to get in now. Play.triviamaker.com.
Just for fun.
The code is 119037. 119037. You guys can join in. And now, if you're watching this after the fact, Tim, I'm going to post this quiz where you can do it. So if you want to skip this part of the show so you don't get all the answers spoiled, then you can do that, of course. So but we want you guys to play if you want to. Again, play.triviamaker.com. The code is 119037, 119037. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes here to join if they would like to. Again, we mentioned it before, though. We want you guys to follow the Trivia Maker browser window that you got it open in. Do not follow the video for YouTube because there will be a delay. We'll try to compensate for that, but we'll just see. Right, Tim?
Pretty good chance of winning right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know. I don't think we're giving away anything. So, hang on.
A lot of pride to go here.
Are you guys going to play? Okay, 119037. Because we're going to do the quiz. My kids are going to play too, Tim. They're going to play against you.
Oh, man, we got a couple of ringers in here.
119037 is the code. Anybody else?
Well, let's play.
Hang on. Oh,
I got some more.
That looks like my daughter right there.
Okay.
So, let's see. Joe says can't click on it. Chopping and dehydrating habaneros for storage. Okay, so he's working. Some of you guys are working on stuff, and so you're listening. So, I mean, that's fine too. Tim, are you ready? Or take your cell phone out of photo mode and put over that square with pixels, and the link will pop up, and click that. You can do that as well. We have the QR code over here in the corner that you can do as well if you would rather. So, Tim, have we waited long enough, or are we going to wait?
We'll wait
another, 30
seconds.
30 seconds. Another 30 seconds. We need you guys in. So
log in.
30 seconds, 30 seconds. I could play the theme song again. I think it's 45. Activity, Tim. We're going to see it. There may be too much of a delay to really do anything. So
I'm just going to look at my pad.
Yeah, just look at your pad. Answer the questions on your pad when they happen. Okay. About 5 more seconds. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, Tim. Let's get this thing started. So, Arcade Game Quiz, episode 98. Now, Tim, I am going to read the question, and then you will, and then you guys will have that chance to answer that question. Obviously, now again, I can see the delay, so I can see kind of when it reaches you guys if you're watching live, and so I am going to compensate for that a bit. And so we will go on. Tim, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Players, are you ready? Let's do this thing. First question, everybody. In Space Invaders, how many rows of aliens does each round start with? Now, these are multiple choice. Multiple choice. In Space Invaders, how many rows of aliens does each round start with? Okay, now I'm going to wait till the YouTube video catches up with us, Tim. As soon as I see it there, we're going to go. So here we go. Ready, set, go. Okay, how many rounds? How many rows of aliens does each round start with? We have 3 left to answer, 2 left to answer. 1 left to answer. Is everybody locked in? Waiting for 1 more. Oh, there we go. We got everybody. Boom. So you only have 5 seconds from the time I click it, Tim. The answer is 5, Tim. Now let's see who all got that.
I missed it.
Okay, it looks like my daughter is the one that got in there, Tim. You have 5 seconds, so.
Come on, guys, we're letting the kid be.
That's right. So they were helping me test, so they may have an unfair advantage. So there we go. So the scoreboard for right now is apparently my daughter is up there with 80 points, and everybody else, come on now, 5 rows, Tim, 5 rows.
I said 6.
Yeah. Again, make sure that you're doing it on the browser. When you see the question on your browser, hit go. Okay? Yeah, answer quickly because go by the browser. There may be a delay on the YouTube side. So, Tim, are you ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
Okay, I think we're ready. Here we go. Which arcade game released in 1983 draws inspiration from the James Bond films? Again, Tim, we're going to let the YouTube video catch up just a second here. We're going to see, as soon as I see it come up, then we're going to go. Here we go. Is it coming up yet? Okay, I think we're ready. Here we go, Tim. I'm hitting it. Which arcade game released in 1983 draws inspiration from the James Bond films? Which one, guys? Some of you guys should know this one.
I got this.
You got this one. Let's see it. Uh-oh. 3, 2, 1, and time. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, you got it right, Tim. I heard the click over there. Spy Hunter is correct. Okay, let's see who all got that one now. So I'm going to wait for it to catch up a little bit so you guys can we're trying to do it in sync at least a little bit.
We got a few more playing in the chat room too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see that. Millstar is in here. So, and there you go. Okay, here we go. Here's the scores right now. So my daughter is still in first with 147. A lot of people got that one right, Tim. That one was a popular one. So we got a couple there. Spy Hunter is, Bobby said he guessed Rolling Thunder. So I put that one on there as a kind of false flag there, Tim.
Okay.
So that one was pretty good. Rolling Thunder makes a lot of sense. Totally get it, but it is Spy Hunter. If you go to Wikipedia, it will actually tell you that. So, Tim, right now, my daughter's still in the lead, unfortunately.
No,
so,
yeah,
we got Tim in second. Real Hammer and Geek Light are tied right now, and Bobby and Phaser's still trying to get in there. That's okay, guys. We'll get you in. Tim, you ready for our next question?
Ready.
Here we go. What was the first one-on-one fighting game released in 1984 that laid the foundation for the genre? What was the first one-on-one fighting game released in 1984 that laid the foundation for the genre? And Tim, I'm going to give it just a second for YouTube to kind of catch up here. And here we go. What is it? Answers are Street Fighter 2, or Street Fighter, Heavyweight Champ, PR Kung Fu, and Karate Champ. So which one do you guys think? Is it Street Fighter, Heavyweight Champ, PR Kung Fu, or Karate Champ? Answer now. You got about 2 seconds. 1 second. Karate Champ is the right answer.
That was close. That was my second choice.
Oh, Geek Glide just jumped you, Tim. There you go. And my daughter is still in first place. So. Oh, do I need to boot you? No, I'm not going to boot her. I'll keep her in there. This is just a test. We have not done this before, so I wanted to give it a test tonight. So somebody said Yar Kung Fu. It is actually Karate Champ.
I guess Yar Kung Fu.
Yes, Yar Kung Fu was big.
That was my guess.
Right, but
I knew it wasn't Street Fighter.
Yes, not Street Fighter. That is correct. But according to Wikipedia, Tim, Karate Champ.
I think Bad Dudes or something would have been on there. I might have guessed that.
There we go. Okay, Tim, let us go on to our next question. There are 10 of these. Okay. So we're going to go to the next question here, Tim. Who is kidnapped in the Simpsons arcade game? Which character, Tim, is kidnapped in the Simpsons arcade game? I'm going to wait for the YouTube video to catch up. And when we see that, waiting for it. Okay, it looks like it's time, guys. I hope you're ready. You should be hearing the question now. And now we're going to hit it, Tim. Ready?
Go.
Here we go. Okay, who is kidnapped in the Simpsons arcade game? Is it Marge, Santa's little helper, Maggie, or Snowball? Answer now, guys. 5 seconds. You have about 3 left. About 2 coming up on 1. If everybody answers, Tim, then it just goes ahead and moves us. But it looks like we still have 1 left. Answer is Maggie. Did you get it right?
Got it right.
Hey, good job, Tim. So we have Maggie is the one who gets kidnapped in the Simpsons arcade game. Let us see how everybody's doing. Oh, Real Hammer just jumped you. And it looks like he went down from there. My daughter is still in first place. Tim, we'll keep her in the game, I guess. I don't know. So, but so far doing pretty well. Again, she helped with testing. So
yeah, okay.
So she's already gone through these questions a little bit. So, okay, well, hopefully everybody's having a good time, Tim. We just see the rankings now. You should see the rankings if you haven't seen them already, Tim. Are you ready for the next question? Are we ready? Okay, let us move on to the next one here. Which vehicle is operated by the player in the game Battlezone? Which vehicle is operated by the player in the game Battlezone? Now, Tim, you want to tell us anything about Battlezone?
Fun.
It's fun, and you use the goggles. There's a goggle thing that you look through. Maybe that's a hint. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys should be hearing the question right now on YouTube, so I'm going to go ahead and hit it. Here we go. Okay, is it a car, armored truck, helicopter, or tank? Answer now. Answer now. Car, armored truck, helicopter, or tank? About 3 seconds left to answer if you haven't already answered. And Tim, the YouTube's just now catching up. Yeah, it is a tank. How many of you guys got that right? Let's see. Coming over to the rankings, Tim. Here we go. Okay. Oh, Tim, you leapfrogged everybody but my daughter.
You get points by doing it fast. Too.
Yeah, you do. So the faster you do it, the more points you get. So. Close the door, please. Close the door. Winner. Hey, go back in there. My daughter's already in here. Okay.
She's throwing shade over here.
Yeah, she's throwing some shade at you, Tim.
Oh, trash talking.
Are you beating Mr. Tim? Yeah. So there you go. Joe says it was definitely a Cybertruck.
Okay.
So, no, but the answer was tank, and it looks like several people in the live chat get that as well. There are people in the live chat playing along just without the app, Tim. And that's fine too.
Do that.
Yeah, put the answers in the live chat if you want to. So, Tim, next question. Here we go. What Konami game from September 1998 was initially released to the European arcade audience under the name Dancing Stage? Now, Tim probably knows this from seeing them at auction. Mm-hmm. But what Konami game from September 1998 was initially released to the European arcade audience under the name Dancing Stage? I'm going to go ahead and hit it now, Tim. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay, is it In the Groove, Pump It Up, Dance Dance Revolution, or Paradise? Please log in with your answers. Here we go. Okay, Dance Dance Revolution is the correct answer. Okay, let's see where everybody's ranking now. Go ahead and go through here. So my daughter is still ahead of you, Tim, but she does know all the answers already. But you are holding your own against the rest of the crew. I tell you what, Real Hammer is on your tail, though, pretty close. Bobby is very close to you. Geeklight, I think, can make a move here, Tim. We still have some questions left. And Phaser's down there. Hey, you're doing your best. So.
I'm good at blowing it.
Yeah, and Millstar and Rexer Show said DDR and DDR. That is correct. I think you guys can join. I don't know if you can join the game while we're in progress or not. I forgot what the code was, Tim. But you may be able to. So.
I do too.
Anyway, let us continue on with the next question, Tim. Here we go. Which arcade game does John Connor play in the film Terminator 2 Judgment Day? Okay, now this is a great film. If you haven't seen Terminator 2 Judgment Day, one of my favorites. But there's an arcade game that John Connor plays in this film. What is that arcade game? That is the question, okay? So now that the YouTube is cut up, we're going to go ahead and throw it out there. Here we go, Tim. 3, 2, 1. Your answers are Air Combat, Afterburner, G-Lock, Air Battle, or Tiger Heli. Which arcade game does John Connor play in the film Terminator 2 Judgment Day? Air Combat, Afterburner, G-Lock, Air Battle, or Tiger Heli? Afterburner is the correct answer. Tim, did you get that?
Yes, okay. That was a total guess.
Good job, Tim. Let's see how many of the rest of you got that as well. Oh, Tim, Real Hammer is taking the lead over.
I had to hesitate.
Now, both of you guys are catching up to my daughter pretty quick here. I'm just saying. And she knows all the answers, which shows you some good stuff. Carlos and Millstar Electronics in the live chat also got that one right, Tim. So there you go. And Bobby, it looks like, did not get that one correct. Geeklight either, Tim. So they kind of fell back. But Real Hammer, you are going back and forth tonight. Pretty hot and heavy. So
we're after Olivia.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see if you can get. That's my daughter, Olivia, at the top. So let's see if you guys can catch her. Tim, how many more questions do we have? I'm not even sure. We'll find out.
I think 5.
Yes, we'll see. Let's go ahead and go through. Next question, guys. Which arcade game released in 1982 was the first to feature full-form parallax scrolling, adding depth to its graphics? Which arcade game released in 1982, Tim, this is your sweet spot, was the first to feature full-form parallax scrolling, adding depth to its graphics? The YouTube is caught up, Tim. Are you ready? Let's do it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Here are your answer choices. Moon Patrol, Jungle King / Jungle Hunt, Congo Bongo, or Zaxxon. Which arcade game released in 1982 was the first to feature full-form parallax scrolling, adding depth to its graphics? The answer, Moon Patrol, Tim. And Tim got that one right.
I would hesitated. It was between that and Zaxxon.
Little tricky on that one for sure. So let's go ahead and see what the results are, Tim. Oh, Real Hammer and Tim have passed Olivia. Oh my goodness. But there's like you guys have like 10 points separating all of you. Bobby Broadway is still in play there, Tim. Geeklight is as well. And then we also have Phaser 58 still holding your own down there in 6. No problem. Doing a great job. These are some hard questions, Tim, for sure. I think I just heard Olivia yell from the other room. So, so good job, guys. There we go. Let's see. And Millstar guessed Moon Patrol. Carlos guessed Zaxxon. So,
yeah,
but 1982
Zaxxon
is
was
the
my
kicker.
second choice. Yeah, I said 82. I was like, it has to be.
That
Moon
was
Patrol.
the kicker. That's kind of the hint there for you, Tim. Let's move on. I think we have at least one more question. Let's go. Which arcade game do players control a spaceship called the Vase to break a wall of bricks? Which arcade game do players control a spaceship called the Vase to break a wall of bricks? Now, Tim, think about games that break walls of bricks, and maybe that'll be a little bit of a hint. We've got YouTube up here. Actually, Millstar already guessed it correctly. Let's go ahead and go. Tim, you can't see.
I'm not looking.
Here are your choices.
I can't read that far.
The choices are Arkanoid, Xevious, Vanguard, or Breakout. Arkanoid, Xevious, Vanguard, or Breakout. Pick your choices now. Which one's it going to be, Tim? Is it going to be Arkanoid, Xevious, Vanguard, or Breakout? Answer, it is Arkanoid is the answer to that question. Let's see how everybody's doing. Oh, sorry, Tim. This is the next one. We skipped the results. Sorry, guys. I'll go ahead and move on to the next question. The answer was Arkanoid. I don't know how the ratings are right now. Actually, it looks like, Tim, you're ahead.
I am ahead.
So the next question. Which arcade game is known for being the first to feature synthesized speech? Synthesized speech. Which arcade game is known for being the first to feature synthesized speech? Here we go. Here are your choices. You've got Sinistar, Stratovox, Wizard of War, or Berserk. Which arcade game is known for being the first to feature synthesized speech? And the answer is Stratovox. That is correct.
That was my second guess.
Your second guess. Okay,
I
so
missed
Stratovox is the answer. Oh, and the winner is Real Hammer
He
Billy
took me on the
Lee.
last
Oh my
question.
goodness! Now, okay, Olivia had 546 is in second place. That's my daughter. We have Tim in 534 in third place. Geek Light, you came in fourth with 407. Bobby with 395, and then we have Phaser with 106. Man, great attempt by everybody. Good. Hopefully you guys had fun. Was it fun?
I thought it was fun.
There we go. I'm gonna mute the audio here. So there we go. Hopefully you guys had a good time doing that. Tim, was it fun?
Very fun.
Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna there we go. Oh, actually, I think it's done playing. Good. Okay, so Bobby says, what a world, I'm melting. So congratulations to the Real Hammer Billy Lee for winning tonight's arcade game quiz for episode 98. Tim, what'd you think?
That was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and you got to play against Tim.
Well, I didn't know the answers.
No, Tim had no idea what the answers were, and Olivia knew most of the answers.
didn't know a couple of them.
Yeah, exactly. Olivia knew a lot of the answers, and she still got second place. So good job, sweet girl. So there we go. So Bobby says the sound effects were good. So there we go. We had good sound effects there, Tim. But yeah, I hope you guys had a lot of fun with that. That's the activity, Tim.
Yeah,
a quiz. Activity. Now, Tim, I'm working on one for the 100th episode trivia about arcade repair tips.
Okay, well I won't play that one then.
Okay, I was about to say brush up on your arcade repair tips trivia. Carlos says, I'm late, but that was fun. He says he's late, so I don't know what you're late to, Carlos. I'm glad you stayed along and played, though. And congratulations to the Real Hammer Billy Lee for playing, Tim. You are the winner. Yay.
Yeah, good job, Billy.
Good. Yeah, the Real Hammer Billy Lee.
Right at the end. Too.
Yeah, exactly. Man, you came from behind for sure. Olivia had you guys for a while there, and you caught up to her. So
you got to be quick.
That's right. Got to be fast on those fingers, guys. If you're gonna get those answers.
I think that cost me on the last one though, because I hit it and I was like, "Oh no, it's Stratovox." I was like, "Oh," but it's too late. Can't change your mind.
That's right. Can't change your mind. Well, hopefully you guys all had fun doing that. And Tim, I think we should do it again. What do you think?
I think so. What's the group think?
Yeah. What do you guys think in the live chat? If you had fun doing it, let us know. Maybe next time we can get more players involved. But Tim, I thought we had a pretty good group.
Yeah, it's fun.
Here, let me check the door real quick before we move on. Who's here? Hello. Okay, good job. You're welcome. Second place. So there we go. Okay.
All right. What's the live chat saying?
The live chat is saying that was fun. Thanks. That's Geek Light. Millstar says appreciate them. Thanks so much. Thank you. Bill says. You could even do it for repair questions and have the show vote on the answer. That's true.
So we thought about that one too.
Big D Retro's here, Tim. He says, hello, guys. Late to the show. No luck on my Double Dragon repair. I will have to send out. Oh, sorry to hear that. Remember, he was having the
that's right.
The little pieces of his dragon were kind of like his backgrounds were having issues, right? And so sorry about that. Sometimes, some things you can't fix unless you have it on your bench with an oscilloscope, Tim.
Right.
It just depends on what it is. Hopefully whoever repairs it for you will get it up and running. So let us know who you send it off to, and let us know how it comes back after the repair for sure. So okay, are we good?
Yeah, thank you guys for playing. That was fun.
Yeah, for sure, it was fun. I'm going to export that result. So there we go. We got it right there. I've got who won, so nobody else can do that. And that should have just kicked you guys out of Trivia Maker. But I will post the a solo version of that you guys can play at home. So if you skip that part of the episode and would like to just do it by yourself, and just play and see how you do. You
see how you would have won if you would have won.
Exactly.
If you could beat Billy's score.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a hard score to beat.
Yeah, exactly. Billy's score was 578.
Yeah, because remember, it's not only knowing it, it's how fast you can do it. Correct. That's where I messed up a couple times.
Yeah. So, Tim, I don't know if people have done quiz games like that before. Kahoot is probably the most famous app for that. But Trivia Maker, we went ahead and paid for, and it was actually very reasonable. And just in our testing, it seemed to work well. I don't know how was the delay between like when you saw the questions and when you got to answer them. That's what I want to know. I tried to compensate for that.
I just watched my pad and just focused on it.
It's different because you're live.
Yeah.
So you know.
I do, but I'm watching the
you
pad.
Kind of see, right. they're seeing kind of what's happening after the fact.
I see.
So, I mean, just a little bit. So, Bobby says he did not use Google. You did not use Google.
Nope.
So, there we go. So, hopefully, there wasn't a whole lot of time to answer the question. So, and again, time is of the essence.
Google would have wasted time.
Right, I was about to say, time is of the essence. The earlier that you answer, the more points you're going to get. So, okay, Tim. That was fun. So
I think so.
Okay. Is it birthday time?
It is birthday time.
Okay, hang on, I gotta grab the hat.
Yep, gotta wear the hat.
It's official. There we go. Actually, my birthday's tomorrow. Okay, officially. So we're gonna go see Minecraft the movie.
Oh, that's right.
So, I mean, my kids are big Minecraft people, so we're gonna do that.
It looks kind of good.
Yeah, it does. So let's see. Bobby says first place had ChatGPT voice open. Could have, I guess. Here's me read the question and then just instant answer kind of thing, maybe. So that's Real Hammer Billy Lee, so you can ask him. He says he's denying all artificial help.
Okay, I'm gonna bet Billy knew that stuff.
I think so too. So let's see. Work time on the birthday hat. There we go. Got the birthday hat on, Tim. So I'm ready.
All right, well, get your presents.
Oh, okay. So Tim got me 2 small bags.
Okay, I would open.
Which is there one that I should open first?
Open this one.
Okay, this one first. Okay. I want to demonstrate it.
Okay.
This is what it is. So,
Not known for my rapping skills, so
that's
you
okay.
get a bag.
Yes. Very nice. Always good to get shirts. I paused my game to be here. That is correct. So thank you, sir. Let's see what else we got in here.
Maybe a little big, but it's a good deal.
No, absolutely. Oh, now I was eyeing these.
Okay.
This is
it's almost Easter time.
Yes, this is an Easter egg with Major League Baseball cards in them. I was actually eyeing these at the store, Tim, because we go and look at the cards. My kids like the cards too. I'm a big baseball fan, as you guys know, especially Texas Rangers, and so I told Tim, hey, how about some baseball cards?
Special cards that are only in the M10s.
Yes, awesome. Yeah. So looking forward. Maybe we can open this in the after show. I want to find
Maybe
out what I got. Hopefully I got some Texas Rangers in there for sure. Thank you for the shirt. Thank you for the tops. And I have one more little small bag.
Okay.
So let's go to that one. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, trading card holders.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We got the cards. You might end up pulling something good.
If you pull something good, right?
You got to put them in a protector,
gotta have that.
Right?
And a GameStop gift card. Very nice. So, as most people know, they announced the Switch 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll be placing my pre-order on the Switch 2 as soon as they go live, which is next Wednesday.
Well, hopefully that will help with
Every
that
little
purchase.
bit helps. Thank you, sir. And I do like GameStop for reservations still. Tim, a lot of places will make you pay the full amount up front. GameStop typically doesn't. You just have to put like 10% down on it, and then you can just pay it over time.
That's not bad.
That's why I like GameStop so much. So thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So I'm looking forward to putting my down payment on my Switch 2 and opening these top baseball cards. We will open them in the after show.
Okay.
We will see what we pull. So maybe we'll get a one-on-one.
There's supposed to be the one crazy, one card that you can only get in there per thing, at least one.
Oh, wow.
And so we'll have to see what you pull.
There we go. So I will take this off now, Tim.
Okay.
But yes, my birthday is tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to just hanging out and having a good day. And I have to go to work. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I did get off early on Fridays, thankfully. So, and I think we bought tickets for Minecraft on Saturday. Because tomorrow's going to be busy. We have a busy day with other things. So looking forward to opening some more presents and watching the Minecraft movie. I'll report back on how I liked it next month. So you guys check that out for sure. Okay, thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
So there we go. Okay, Tim, well, let's do our news and discussion for this month. Tim, we had quite a bit of it. And in fact, a couple of stories came in kind of right under the wire. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did notice that.
Before I move on, though, Tim, I'm going to go to the live chat. Millstar says, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jonathan. Lots of happy birthdays. Thank you guys for the happy birthdays. Current Phonograph said, very entertaining quiz, Tim. So
okay,
so
that's fun.
There. Let's see.
And pretty challenging.
Yeah, for sure. Bobby says, I need those for my garbage pail kids. The little sleeves, for sure. And Bobby says, thankfully, my X-Men cards are always in a book. Yeah, and I still have a lot of cards from childhood, Tim. I've got a lot of them up there. I've got some down in some other binders. And I have a binder over here with some cards in it from, they're mostly wrestling cards. But I do have some baseball cards in there, too. Or will soon, so. I love baseball. You
know what's weird is that Walmart used to have a ton of them, and when I went to Walmart, I'm expecting this full aisle again, and it was like hardly anything. I was like, what the heck? There's no wrestling, no nothing. I was like, wow, Target still has quite a bit.
Now I will say that the wrestling cards are hard to come by, period, and different Walmarts have different selection.
Yeah.
For sure. The 64 Walmart has way better selection.
Okay.
Because I don't think people buy over there as much. So it is what it is. Depends on where you go. Okay, well, thank you guys for the happy birthdays. And now we're going to go to our news and discussion. And the first story we have here, Tim, obviously the Texas Pinball Festival was last month. And so there are a lot of new pinball machine announcements around that, as there usually are. And the biggest one, Tim, was from our friends at Multimorphic, and they announced their Portal game, okay? Now, for those of you guys who are not familiar with the P3 platform, we know that the P3 platform is basically a machine that you can use and then install different kits on to play different games, right, Tim? And so this is the Portal kit for the P3 pinball platform. Multimorphic has announced that their next game for the P3 platform will be Portal. The game is based on the video game franchise by Valve Corporation. Assets from the video game will be included in the table. And Ellen McLean will reprise her role as the voice of GLaDOS. There are 2 editions of the game, the Portal Standard, which is $3,900, and the Portal Extended, which is $5,500, and those are for the kits. That's assuming you already have a P3 pinball machine. If you don't, Tim, it's a lot more to get it with the machine included. Okay. So, Tim, what do you think of Portal? Do you have much experience with Portal? Have you ever even played the game?
Never played it.
Okay.
Don't know nothing about it.
So it's a puzzle-style first-person shooter. Is that a good way to say it?
Somewhat.
So like you've got a portal gun and you're trying to shoot and open different portals to get to different places to get to a goal, right? So it's kind of a puzzle game.
Sounds like it'd be a fun pinball game.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the way that it works lends itself to really cool pinball mechanics, right? Okay. And so I'm looking forward to playing it. It seemed to get very positive reviews at Texas Pinball Festival. Tim, did you hear anything about it?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so I mean, just from the people who played it, it seemed like there was a lot of positive reviews. So hopefully we'll get a chance to put hands on it as well and see how it is, Tim. The P3 platform is cool because you buy the machine once and you just put different kits in for any games that you want to play, Tim. We know that there's a Weird Al game for the platform. There's the Princess Bride game. And of course, they had the very first game, Lexi Lightspeed, Cosmic Kart Racing. There's all these different kits that you can get. The Mafia game, right? They have like a Mafia game. Heist is what it is. And so that's the awesome thing is you have one pinball machine that can be a lot of different layouts just based on whatever kit you're installing in it. And then there are different games you can play with each kit besides the main game. So I really do think that they've got a cool business model. And Tim, with the prices of pinball machines probably going to increase pretty soon, investing in a P3 and then getting the kits is probably a much easier sell than trying to buy 10 new pinball machines in your house, right? So we wish them best of luck with Portal. Hopefully there's a lot of people who invest in it and play it. And Tim, a lot of people were disappointed it wasn't Half-Life, which is another game by Valve. And I would say that now that they've opened the door for Portal, you never know. Half-Life could be on the next release. It could be. You never know. So, but congratulations to Multimorphic for their new Portal Portal game for the P3 platform, and we look forward to playing it very soon. Go down to your local arcade or maybe your arcade distributor near you and see if they have one that you can play, and let us know your thoughts next month. Coming over to the live chat, Tim, we've got let's see. YouTube Punk says, "Hey guys, can't stay but wanted to say hi and drop a link. Happy birthday, Jonathan. Happy birthday, YouTube Punk. Sorry you can't stay. Hopefully you catch the show after the fact." Alan says, "Portal is fantastic. I played co-op with my son when he was in kindergarten. He loved it." YouTube Punk says, "We need a Goonies pinball machine." I think a lot of people would do that. Joe says, "I found $20 GameStar gift card in the parking lot at work. Took it to get a PS Vita game, and the guy said, 'We don't do retro here.'" Well, technically, PS Vita has not been around for a while, Joe. So, unfortunately, you're probably out of luck with PS Vita games. All right. Just saying. So. Okay, Tim, let's go to our next story. Now, this one is kind of near and dear to my heart. I've been a long-time UFC fan, Tim, and this one has to do with that. Dave & Buster's unveils their UFC Challenge game for an immersive arcade experience. Dave & Buster's and the UFC have joined forces to release the new UFC Challenge arcade game. Developed in collaboration with Ryder, IGPM Distribution, Adrenaline Amusements, and Betson, UFC Challenge is a massive 11-foot wide, 12-foot tall, 1,700-pound arcade machine designed to simulate the intensity of a UFC bout. The game features single and two-player modes, authentic UFC branding, and strategic gameplay. So, Tim, basically you have these pads, and you're either playing against the computer by hitting these pads when it tells you to hit them, or you're playing against somebody else. And so, like, when you make contact with pads, you're kind of like hitting them, and when they make contact with the pads, they're hitting you. And so, I think it's a cool concept. It's kind of like a fight. Of it? I have seen videos of it being played. It looks good. It looks like it almost looks like Speed of Light, except with more hitting, right? Okay. So, you're just trying to hit the stuff when it comes up on the screen. it's a lot about timing, much like a rhythm game would be, Tim, where you see, okay, hit this pad at this time, hit this pad kind of thing. And then whoever is the most accurate, wins the bout kind of thing.
Interesting.
So, but Tim, what do you think about 11-foot wide, 12-foot tall, and 1,700 pounds?
I don't want to be installing it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be the guy that has to bring it into your place for sure. It has to be that heavy, I feel like, Tim, because people are beating on this thing, right? And so I am worried about the longevity of it. Tim, have you ever seen a lot of those games that get a lot of that physical impact?
Yeah.
How do they hold up over time?
Well, usually if they have some kind of padding or something that wears, you can just replace. So hopefully it's got something that is repairable pretty easily. I think back even like DDRs and stuff, how people would damage the rails and the feeds and stuff, but it was kind of sectioned in parts. So if they did it right, where you could just replace a certain part, get your game back up, maybe some common parts, could be done good. But I'd like to see. I'd love to go play one.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of Dave & Buster's already have these installed, Tim.
Okay.
So if you may want to check with your local Dave & Buster's and see if they have one near you. If they do, you may want to give it a shot. Let us know what you think if you do get a chance to play it, Tim. I do think it's a fun concept if nothing else. So. Okay, I'm going to check out with the live chat. Bobby says, PSP was the last handheld you had. So, Tim, for my birthday, I ordered something from China that's probably about to get a whole lot more expensive due to tariffs. But that is an R36S emulation system, a single board computer style system.
Okay.
Okay, and this thing emulates basically every game system up to like the PSP, I think, or PS1 on a handheld device.
Nice.
That you can carry with you. And so,
like to see that.
and it was only about $30 from China.
Well, you'll have to show us when it comes in.
Yeah, it's for my birthday, so I get it tomorrow, but officially. But some of these single board computer handheld systems that are coming out of China and some of the Chinese manufacturers, Tim, pretty darn cool. So Anbernic is one of the companies that does a lot of these single board computers. Retroid, Tim, is another brand that does these. But man, these things have gotten almost so powerful that they can emulate systems up to like GameCube. Wow. And some even Switch. I mean, it's amazing. So these single board computer style handhelds, Tim, are becoming very popular and basically allows you to have your entire childhood in a little handheld device. So,
pretty cool.
So if you're looking for a new handheld to invest in, check out like the R36S or the R36H. Those are like the base models of the single board computer style handhelds that are out there. And they won't cost you very much. Even with tariffs, Tim, I doubt they'll cost you more than $50. So nice. Good stuff if you haven't done it already. So. Joe says there used to be an environmental one where you'd box the computer. I used to enjoy watching guys get winded 30 seconds in. There you go. So anyway, good stuff, guys. But again, if you're looking for handhelds, some of these little cheap Chinese guys, pretty good stuff. And then, Tim, here's another story about another new game. And this is something, Tim, that I think is gonna be very, very popular. And that is Top Gun Maverick. Now, Tim, we know that the movie was very popular, right? The movie was huge. But Raw Thrills has now pulled back the curtain on their version of Top Gun Maverick, okay? And so Play Mechanics and Raw Thrills will be releasing an arcade game based on the movie Top Gun Maverick. The cabinet features a fighter jet setup with two 65-inch 4K screens, Tim, and a compressed air motion base, okay? So you're familiar with these kind of motion bases, right, Tim?
It's like Afterburner Deluxe.
Yes, exactly. So this setup, though, you see in the new Raw Thrills Fast and Furious, if you guys have seen the new design, it's basically the same design. Players race elite pilots through 6 levels, navigating dangerous environments and shooting down enemy aircrafts to earn points and power-ups. So, Tim, what do you think?
Well, it'll be a hit.
This thing's going to sell. Yeah. It's going to sell. It's going to be in every arcade. This thing's going to sell gangbusters. It really will. I think based on the popularity of the movie, and then Tim, I mean, you can't, it's hard to do an airplane game wrong. I mean, just follow the Afterburner formula, right? I mean, just do it like that. I think you'll be in good shape. But, man, this just seems like a really cool concept. And, Tim, could you imagine getting, like, 4 you guys and 4 cabinets and dogfighting it out?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. So, I bet you're going to see this. This is going to be the new Fast and Furious style game that you're going to see at a lot of local arcades. And so I wouldn't be surprised if one near you gets it. And when they do, like I said, give it a play. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Top Gun Maverick by Raw Thrills. So, Bobby says it's a race game as far as he's seen. Would be cooler if they had dogfight mode as well. So it says that you shoot down enemy aircrafts in the description. Okay, so I'm assuming that there must be some sort of dogfight mode.
Gotta be.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a really hard time.
Game would not be
right. I think it could have a race mode too, but feel like you kind of have to have a dogfight.
Got it.
Right? Just saying. So. Now, Tim, these are the two stories that kind of came in very last minute. Okay. Like basically between the time that we announced that we were doing the live show for this month and the time that we are now, these two stories came out. Now, Tim, this first one is about Dave & Buster's, who we already covered tonight with the UFC game, but this is a little bit different in that Dave & Buster's accuses a local restaurant chain of trademark infringement. And Tim, this is from the South Florida Sentinel. The news came down yesterday that Oh, you know what? I put the wrong description there, guys. Sorry. So basically what happened is that there is Arcade Time, and Arcade Time in South Florida has been using the slogan, eat, drink, play, win. Okay? Whereas Dave & Buster's uses the slogan, eat, drink, play, right? Eat, drink, play. Without the win, or eat, play, win. I forget. They use some variation on that. And so what Dave & Buster's is doing is that they're actually suing the Arcade Time USA company for a lot of money, and or basically they've sent them several cease and desist letters saying, hey, you need to stop using that. It's too close to our slogans and everything, which basically Arcade Time USA has promptly ignored to. And so what they have done is that they have ignored everything. So now Dave & Buster's is suing them for infringement, and also for lawyers' fees and for back penalties, and basically everything you can sue a person for when they steal your trademark.
Okay.
So, Tim, with that in mind, what do you think about this lawsuit from Dave & Buster's? Do you think they'll win it? Now, they say that they've had this trademark since 1988. Okay, this eat, play, win, or whatever it is. So, do you think that they're going to end up winning out, or is eat, drink, play, win different than the eat, play, win slogan that Dave & Buster's?
It's very similar, and it's a similar concept. I think they have something if they trademarked it. Yeah.
I think if Arcade Time USA is smart, they'll settle.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're smart, they're going to settle. I mean, I think that would be probably the smart thing to do. Otherwise, I think they're just going to get raked over the coals and probably have to pay all of Dave & Buster's fees and things that are associated with that. And so, it's never good when you're ignoring cease and desist letters, Tim. I will tell you that. So it's just not a really good thing to do. You guys need to make sure you never do that. And so the fact that they're continuing to use this slogan, they have it on their website, even though Dave & Buster's has sent these, again, that doesn't look great in a lawsuit. And so be sure that, we'll keep you posted on who wins this thing. But I'm with Tim. Kind of looks like Dave & Buster's is going to pull this thing out unless Arcade Time USA can work out some sort of settlement agreement.
So I guess.
Now, Tim, we should mention that I feel like Dave & Buster's kind of almost stole our slogan one time. Watch the games, play the games.
Yeah.
Maybe we had a case.
Maybe.
So
if they win, we should contact their lawyer.
Yeah, and even the way that they did it with the watch the games and play the games, I feel like was like, right, just fix the game, play the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different thing, guys. So we covered that on like a question and answer podcast a long time ago. So, but anyway, we'll keep you posted on what ends up happening with Dave & Buster's, and if they end up suing them, if there's a settlement or anything like that. Arcade Time USA, you're on notice. That's what I'll say. So we'll see what happens. Coming over to the live chat, Tim, it's, let's see, lots of new games at Dave & Buster's would be worth a visit, is what Bobby says. Let's see. Does not seem like a good case, he says. The logos are different, and monopoly rules, maybe. He says you can't own food and games. Exactly. It's kind of generic. And so when we were, some of the comments that we had, I was like, is this phrase just too generic to really trademark in the restaurant context? And so some people agreed it was just too generic, but at the same time, if Dave & Buster's does own that trademark
in that
space.
But yeah, and those are common names, but in that phrase.
Yes, exactly. So I guess we'll see. Like I said, we'll keep you posted on what's going on with the lawsuit.
But then again, why sue them? It's like, are you really losing any business over it?
Well, but if you have a trademark and you don't enforce it, right, if you don't protect it, then anybody's going to roll over it, right? And so that's part of it for sure. Okay, Tim, the last news story again. This one is one that came in just under the wire here on April Fool's Day of all days, Tim.
Right.
We got the news that Billy Mitchell has won a defamation lawsuit over YouTuber Karl Jobst, and he has won $237,000 from said YouTuber, Tim.
Okay.
So the news came down that Billy Mitchell has won $237,000 in damages after a court ruled Australian YouTuber Karl Jobst had defamed him. Most of the allegations centered around a 2021 video posted by Jobst, implying that Mitchell's prior lawsuit against Benjamin Apollo Legend Smith resulted in the latter having to pay out $1 million in damages and contributed to Smith taking his own life in 2020. Tim, apparently Billy Mitchell had quite a bit of evidence that was not the case. and was able to basically win this lawsuit against Karl Jobst and get the $237,000 in damages.
Okay.
So, Tim, this is one of those things that, like, you need to be careful about what you say.
Right.
And don't just go saying stuff to say stuff.
Right.
And Tim, we've seen this a lot just recently with celebrities suing like media outlets, right?
Mm-hmm.
About some of the things they've said. And so you can't just make claims about somebody and then expect them to lie down and just say, "Oh, those claims," and not say anything.
Some truth to it.
Right, exactly. If you're defaming somebody, that's a big deal. And so there should be penalties for that. And it sounds like Karl Jobst is going to experience some of those penalties for saying things that just were flat out lies. So that's why you have to be very careful about what you say. You can say a lot, Tim, if you wrap it in like, well, the rumor is, or my opinion is, you can say a lot. But when you start presenting those things as this is the way it is, this is the fact, I have evidence that this is what happened. When you start saying stuff like that, then all of a sudden now you have a suit for defamation. Okay. And so you always have to be careful as long as you couch it with this, well, in my opinion, blah, 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 blah. Or, there's a rumor out there that says blah, 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 blah. That's all you had to do was say, hey, there's rumors swirling that this happened, due to this, and this. And, he really didn't do that. He presented it like it was fact. And when you do that, if the person that you're talking about seems so inclined, they can sue you for defamation. And Tim, the bar for defamation is a lot lower for just regular human beings than it is for celebrities. Okay, celebrities, it's much higher. Billy Mitchell, though, I wouldn't consider like a top tier celebrity per se. And so he's, I think, able to fight this because of that. Because basically the bar is set a little bit lower for him than it would be for like a top tier celebrity. And so when you have a YouTuber here that's basically claiming as fact that this is what happened, it was just Karl Jobst was just asking for it, in my opinion.
Yep.
So do you have any thoughts?
No, I think that was the right judgment.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But you'll see it all the time.
I'm not a huge Billy Mitchell fan. It's not like, but you just can't do that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I will say this. Something that somebody said is on the comments for the story is they said, every time I've ever met Billy Mitchell, he's really nice to me. And you know what? Same here. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, every time I've ever met Billy Mitchell, he has been super nice. I know he puts on that kind of act, Tim, almost like pro wrestling, right? He plays the heel really well. I don't think that's really Billy Mitchell. I think that's just a character to a certain extent. And so you have to be careful. You have to be careful about what you're saying about people, especially if you've got a public forum. Like Karl Jobst, Tim, he's got 1 million subscribers. He's a large YouTube channel. And so when you start putting stuff like that out on a large YouTube channel, stuff like this can happen.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I think this is a very deserved victory by Billy Mitchell. Karl obviously said stuff about him that defamed him. He had evidence that the stuff he said wasn't true, pre-cut and dry. So it is what it is. Come over to the live chat, Tim. Let's get some of the stuff over here. Millstar says Billy for the win. Current Phonograph says if you're a public figure, you should be very, very thick-skinned. That is true, but at the same time, people should not be saying facts about you that aren't true.
Right.
And if they do,
they should be held accountable.
They should be held accountable. And this has happened, Tim. We've seen, like I said, celebrities sue media outlets. Tim, you will see a media outlet sometimes. You'll see somebody on a TV show say something and then immediately do a correction. Have you ever seen that? You know why they did that? Because a lawyer handed them a slip of paper saying, you need to correct that right now. Okay, so if you ever see that where you're watching like a news comment or something like that, and all of a sudden somebody says, oh, that person, blah, 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 blah. And then after the commercial, they're like, we just need to say that the allegations against such person aren't true. If they have to correct like that, there was a lawyer involved. So I can tell you for sure. So, okay, guys. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up, Tim, for all the questions and all of the what do we call it? Activities and birthdays and news and discussion. It's pretty much all done. Now we have some announcements, Tim. And I do want to make these announcements real quick so you guys can take a look.
I think one of them's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. The next one's more of a big deal. So this one's more housekeeping, Tim. In that our audio podcast host has changed. We have been using Anchor for a long time, but as most people know, Anchor was recently bought by Spotify. So we have changed the hosting provider for our audio podcast files from Anchor.fm, which is now owned by Spotify, to Spreaker due to a recent policy change. The podcast will continue to be available on Spotify, but it'll be hosted. The files will actually reside on Spreaker. Now, Tim, if you guys have been following us a long time, you'll know that we used to use Spreaker to do live shows from like the Texas Pinball Festival.
Yes.
We've had a Spreaker account for a very long time, and so we're kind of going back home in a way with our podcast host. Now, this change also allows us to place ads on our audio content, which Anchor had done away with when Spotify bought them. And of course, those ads, Tim, help us cover the cost of a website, equipment, and other expenses. And so I do apologize for those of you guys who have been used to the ad-free experience on the question and answer podcast feed or the audio podcast feed. But hey, you should get as many ads as the YouTube people do. So I mean, we'll make it fair across the board, Tim. So, and it's really not that many ads. We try not to inundate you with that many. But just remember that when you hear those ads on those podcast feeds, Tim, you are supporting us. And we do appreciate your support there. Tim, obviously, the only way that we keep this thing rolling is through ads and donations. And so, we just, anything that we can do to help out those things, we'd like to do. We want to keep our content as free as possible, though. And to do that, sometimes we have ads, right?
Yep.
So it is what it is. Sorry about that. But Spreaker is now our audio podcast host. And Tim, you can listen on our website the same way you've been doing. You can continue to subscribe on the RSS feed that you're currently subscribed to, and nothing is gonna change there. But you can also go to Spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com and listen to the episodes there. So if you would rather do that, so it's just another avenue that you can use to listen to our podcast. But again, if you search Arcade Repair wherever fine podcasts are aggregated, you will find the audio podcast feed. I promise. And Tim, this is the other reminder that we want to put out here. Now, Tim, we usually remind people to send in content.
Right.
But I don't know if you noticed the episode number we're on.
98.
We're on episode 98. So this time we're going to remind you to help us celebrate our 100th live show episode. You can help us celebrate our upcoming 100th episode of the live show by saying congratulations in one of the following ways. You can send an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com, questions@arcaderepairtips.com. You can send us a video. Just upload it to YouTube. Send us a link of you wishing us congratulations and anything else you want to put in there. Or you can send us a text or a voicemail to 972-827-8477 or 972, the number 8, AR Tips is an Arcade Repair Tips. Make sure you mention your YouTube channel, website, or wherever else you'd like to promote in your message. So, Tim, here's an example. This is David from exquisitearcades.com. Congratulating Tim and Jonathan on 100 episodes of the live show. Right. Boom. Just wrote you a template. Simple. Exactly. Doesn't have to be overly complicated, but this is a great way to get your name out there and also to send the congratulations to us. Right, Tim?
Yes.
So we are accepting those now until the 100th episode. And then on episode 100, Tim, we'll go back to the reminders about sending in your content. But we haven't gotten a lot of content lately anyway, and I just thought this would serve as a good reminder to send in those 100th episode congratulation things. So, because, Tim, one more episode.
One more.
And then we're to 100. So the June episode, Tim, the June episode will be 100 episodes. Goodness. And then, Tim, we have our contact information. We have our general email at questions@arcaderepairtips.com, questions@arcaderepairtips.com. If you put live show in the subject, it will get mentioned on the show. Otherwise, we will get to it whenever we get to it. Could be on the live show, could just be answering it in general. But again, questions@arcaderepairtips.com is a great way to reach me and Tim. We also have our YouTube page at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. Of course, Tim, everybody that's in the live chat and watching this live knows that, but maybe you're listening to this on the audio podcast feed and you'd like to see the YouTube version of this episode. You can find that at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. And Tim, just a quick reminder about the audio podcast feed. We do not put the after show on there still. So if you want to hear the after show for this episode, you will need to go to the YouTube page at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com and find episode 98. And then you can jump via the chapters to the after show if you'd like to listen to it. Tim, we have our audio podcast feeds, which can still be found on iTunes at itunes.arcaderepairtips.com, Spotify at spotify.arcaderepairtips.com, and Audible at audible.arcaderepairtips.com, or at Spreaker at spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com. Now, Tim, the one thing we do want to remind you is that on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible, you can leave reviews. So if you've never left us a review and would like to do that, please do so. iTunes.arcaderepairtips.com for iTunes, Spotify.arcaderepairtips.com for Spotify, or Audible.arcaderepairtips.com for Audible. Leave us some reviews. And you can also listen to us on Spreaker at Spreaker.arcaderepairtips.com. And then, Tim, we have our social media pages. Now, Tim, what's the cool thing about our social media for the last couple of months? We post a story how often?
Every day.
Every day. That's right. We post an arcade-related story every day of the week. So if you want to get in on those arcade repair-related stories, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.arcaderepairtips.com and just like us, and then it'll come up in your feed. You can also follow our Twitter/X feed at twitter.arcaderepairtips.com. And Tim, either one of those is fine. The same content gets cross-posted on both. But again, we're posting a lot of content. And if you're not following us on those social media pages, you're really missing out now. Again, facebook.arcaderepairtips.com for Facebook guys. Twitter.arcaderepairtips.com for Twitter/X users. So, and we also want to thank Mark for all of his community management and all the contributions he makes. Tim, he was the one that gave us the idea to do the 80s hair band song tonight for the intro. So thank you so much for that, Mark. But make sure you follow us on social media. We also give you updates on when the live show will take place or any other new content is put out. Well, Tim, I think that does it for the regular show. Now, I already mentioned in the after show, we were going to be opening this really nice egg full of Topps baseball cards. So if you guys want to find out what's in here, make sure you join us for the after show. Tim, we also mentioned we're going to be talking tariffs. Right. Because that seems to be on everybody's mind. We talked a little bit about that last month, but obviously some of those have gone into effect now, so we have a little bit more discussion to take place on that. Baseball season has started, Tim. We'll be talking baseball and NHL playoffs coming up, NBA playoffs coming up, WrestleMania, Tim, and Final Four. We talked March Madness last month. We're to the Final Four, Tim. Saturday, we'll have a pick-em on who we think's going to win.
Okay.
And TV shows as well, Tim. You've got some things you've been watching. I've got some things I've been watching. We'll talk more about that. So, let's see what we got here. Millstar says, what a great show. Phaser says, great show. Hammer Billy Lee says, take care, everyone, and hope you enjoy your birthday, Jonathan. Lots of birthdays. Thank you guys so much for the birthday shout-outs. So glad that you guys could be here tonight. Excellent live chat tonight. Just give yourselves a round of applause. We're so glad that you guys could join us for that. Thank you to all the participants of the quiz. Yeah, and going head-to-head with Tim, the real Hammer Billy Lee, using his arcade knowledge to just take out Mr. Arcade Repair Tips, Tim. So, hey, you're a humble guy, though. I get it. So, but, hey, you held your own. You held your own. I'm going to call you second. I'm not going to count my daughter. So, there we go. But we want to thank you guys for being here. It was awesome. We will have another quiz for episode 100. Maybe we'll do one for 99. We'll see. So, we'll see how it all worked out. I may go back, Tim, and we'll replay it and just see how everything was. Exactly. Tim, anything else you want to say before we move on to the after show and exit the normal live show?
No, thank you guys for watching. Again, a lot of you have been with us for a long time. Appreciate some of you that are just recently joining us, or maybe it's your first time. Please stay tuned. We got some more stuff coming if you want to listen to the after show. Stay for that. If not, be here next month. When it's our next one, John?
It's going to be in May. I don't know what the exact date is right now.
First Thursday in May.
First Thursday of the month at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Unless something comes up, we do post in our social media feeds if the schedule is changed. I want to give a big shout out to John Q for his update, and we hope that we get more updates as we go forward, Tim, for sure, right?
May 1st is on a Thursday.
May 1st. Oh, man. So we don't always do the first, Tim. It just depends on how everything's going. But we may.
Only be 4 weeks.
The first is usually kind of I don't know if it's low attended because people are out spending checks or what, but I say we do the first. What do you think?
Okay, first sounds good to
me.
So
May 1st should be the next live show if you guys want to tune in. 5:30 p.m. Central Time if you guys want to join us. I don't know if we'll do another quiz or anything, but we'll find out. There may be more updates from this month, Tim. I hope we get more of those. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. And if this is your off-ramp, then we'll see you next month for the live show. But if you want to stay for the after show, wait about 5 or 10 minutes and we'll go to that, right?
Yep.
So, anyway, guys, thank you again for being with us. And remember, here at Arcade Repair Tips, when you fix the game,
you play the game.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you here in a minute for the after show in 5 to 10, or we'll see you next month for episode 99. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Arcade Repair Tips live show. All of our past episodes are available on our website at arcaderepairtips.com or on our YouTube page. This show is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please consult a professional before attempting to repair any coin-operated machines yourself. The preceding program is a Varcade Entertainment production.
And we're back with the after show for episode 98, Tim.
Wow.
So I know, golly, a lot. So did you like that intro?
I did like that intro.
That's
that
the
was
80s
pretty cool.
hairband intro.
I like
there.
the different ones.
Yeah. We'll probably do another one for next month. I do already have one for episode 100 because I've been kind of fiddling with my AI music stuff, Tim. Tim, you can make some really incredible stuff. You can make stuff that actually sounds like real songs. I mean, it's amazing. So AI is just a part of life now, I feel like. We use it for all sorts of things. But anyway, it is fun to make songs about whatever you want to make songs about. We have a really funny one about our cat, Tim, that we made. So,
okay.
Because she's from the streets, and her name is Pumpkin, so it's called Pumpkin from the Streets. Is the name of the song.
She's a hood cat.
She's a street cat, yeah. She'll eat whatever's on any plates. She doesn't care. So, but anyway, so thank you guys for being here. Thanks for staying tuned for the after show. Of course, in the after show, Tim, any topic is open. We don't stick strictly to arcade repair, mainly because this is mine and Tim's time to just catch up, because me and Tim don't always just get to catch up. So that's how it is. What should we start this thing off with, Tim?
Well, you need to open your present.
Should we save this? I was kind of thinking we should save this. Oh, Jumpingeneral is here. So we answered your question. I know we'd already answered it on YouTube, but we went ahead and answered it again about the 129.1 volts. So if you want to go back and watch that Jumpingeneral, you can. But I just threw it on here since we had answered it during the month, and I need another question on there. So,
right.
But anyway, so your question was on the live chat tonight, or on the live show tonight. So, let's dive into if you guys want to hear the intro song, the full thing, I'll play it. But if you don't want to hear it, I'm not going to play it. So if we get enough requests for that in the live chat, Tim, I'll play it. But let's talk about tariffs, because that was kind of a bit. We got some questions about that.
Stock market hit really hard today.
Yeah, so
401k kind of.
This is going to be a way of life for a while, I think.
Yeah.
Things are going to be more expensive, especially things that are coming in from other countries. I mean, I hope that this is temporary.
Yeah.
If it's not temporary, I do think that a lot of people are going to be very upset.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think last month, Tim, we said that the window was about 3 to 6 months. I'm sticking with that. I hope that it doesn't take any more than 3 to 6 months.
Wait and see mode, not panic mode. Wait and see.
Yeah, just says buy. I averaged down on several underperforming stocks. A great time to buy. This is like the entire stock market is on sale right now. So if you've got some money and you're not feeling too weary about where the economy's heading, I'd say let's start investing. So because it is a time to buy. So Nvidia is down, Tim, which I have some in.
I got some.
Golly, a lot of different things are down right now. So yeah, if you wanna average down your price per stock,
just jump in.
Or just jump in. Good time to buy. So for sure, it's like the whole stock market's on sale.
Right.
So, but yeah, so very interesting stuff. A lot of stocks are being hit and affected by tariffs,
But now, one thing that it's interesting when he uses the word reciprocal tariff.
Yes.
So you've already had a couple of people say, well, we won't charge you anything. And he says, okay, we won't charge you nothing. So
yeah, exactly.
Will it really work that good? Will it work that way? Or one of them said, okay, how about 1% or something that wasn't even much.
Right.
And so, think about it. Maybe that could work out. Maybe it will balance or find a ground.
So let's talk. I mean, tariffs typically. Here's the thing: is that obviously before we really didn't have tariffs on many countries, and so what that allowed other countries to do is to import their items to us basically with no additional charges, and so it was really good for the consumers because it was cheap.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but the problem for American companies is that if an American company wanted to sell in a different country, their product got marked up. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in a way, he's trying to help American companies to be able to sell to the rest of the world, right? That's part of what tariffs do. Okay?
Or to encourage them to build factories here
Correct.
so they can avoid the tariffs.
Exactly. And that's another thing that tariffs do.
So, like I said, it's almost too early to tell.
It's a long-term play.
It may be the stupidest thing ever.
Exactly.
And I may just be rethinking about anything in the future, or it could be a genius idea. I really don't know. I'm not well versed. I got some speculation and some things that I think, but that's just it. I don't know.
If it lasts more than 6 months, I think I'm going to
feel the squeeze.
I was about to say, I think I'm not going to be happy. I will say that. So more than 6, you get 6 months max. If we continue to have these kind of high tariffs on everybody, I'm out.
Right.
So I'm willing to try it. That's what I'm saying. I'm willing to bear it for a little bit. But here's the thing: we're bearing it, but guess what? Every other country is bearing it too. Canada has pulled like a lot of American stuff off shelves, right?
Right.
Like Jack Daniels, right? It's like you can't get in Canada because they pulled off shelves because it costs too much.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. So,
I just hate that. I think when we talked about arcade parts, I know that Patrick Scott Patterson was talking about, he does this for a living to repair games. And it may be, if it starts getting really hard to get parts, it already is hard.
It is already hard.
And if it makes it even harder, those costs have to be passed on, or you're going to have to find something else to do, and that would be sad.
Right.
I don't want to see anybody lose their job or something. I get some of it. I understand the concept.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the other thing, Tim. We already talked about it. It's making the cost of goods higher for the consumer, too, for non-American goods.
Yes.
Okay. But that means is that now people who had disposable income, if they're buying those items are now basically taxed higher. And so they're going to have less disposable income, which is why we see a lot of entertainment stocks having issues, right? It's because now with tariffs up, that means people are having to spend more on things than they were having to spend before. And so the amount of disposable income is going to go down. Okay. Which means things like arcades going to hurt for a little bit.
Right. But will it affect the price of, will groceries go down? Or, is there a balance? That's what I'm hoping. Toilet paper's not made overseas.
Right.
So are we still going to be able to get plenty of it? Is the cost going to go down?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. And I really don't want to just sit on the middle, but I'm telling you, I understand the arguments for both sides. I really do, because I see how it's going to affect some people, but if it's just a short-term effect for a long-term goal, I get it.
Hey, somebody said it right, and this is what I think too. It's either going to be a huge success or a massive failure. Yeah. So there is no in between on this. It's either a huge success or a massive failure. So we'll just see what happens. Joe says, my father said it best: set up a table where you get your paycheck. First few tables are retirement, Social Security, etc. By the time you get to number 4, there will be changes. What did Canada ever give us? The Bricklin, I love them, but what a bucket of poop. So obviously I have family in Canada. I love going to Canada. I went to Canada the last 2 summers. I drink Canadian coffee, Tim. I drink Tim Hortons. Okay, which is my favorite coffee in the world. Okay, so I'm going to maybe make a sacrifice now, because I think Tim Hortons is going to be way more expensive. Before, it was almost on par with like Folgers or Maxwell House.
All right.
I can almost guarantee you it's going to be about twice as much probably. So I'm going to have to find another coffee because I'm not going to spend the extra amount for Tim Hortons.
Well, drink Black Rifle coffee. It's
Black Rifle,
here.
okay.
Made in Texas.
Things that are made in Texas are good. I usually do it.
I don't know if the
reason I like Tim Hortons is because it tastes good, and like I said, it's on the same price. It tastes better than Folgers and Maxwell House.
Okay.
But but it costs the same. That's why I did. But now with tariffs, that's not going to be the case.
Well, we all go and we make decisions, and there are tools that I buy that I would buy at DeWalt or
Harbor Freight.
But I would go to Harbor Freight because I know that stuff's cheap and stuff, but it may be a one-time use.
Yes.
I don't want to spend a ton on some tree saw if I need it one time.
But what's this going to do to Harbor Freight? You think about companies like what skill saws are made here in the United States, right? Like some manufacturers do make their tools here in the United States. But we all know that Harbor Freight is full of Chinese stuff.
Yeah.
And so we know that the tariffs are about to hit Harbor Freight something hard. I mean, if you can get a skill saw for just a little bit more than you can get like the cheap reciprocating saw at Harbor Freight, what are you going to go with?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so like you said, the tariffs encourage you to buy more American products, which in turn means more American manufacturing in a way too.
More jobs.
More jobs.
And people spending money that that weren't making money are now making. So it could go either way.
Yeah.
It really could. I don't. And people that are smarter than me probably are hopefully doing some research.
Joe says Black Rifle is good. He does the cheap breakfast blend.
Okay.
So I might try Black Rifle. I just like Tim Hortons original blend. I mean, that's my go-to. My dad drinks community coffee, which I also like.
Okay.
But my wife's tummy is real sensitive, so it has to be kind of a mild coffee, which is why I like Tim Hortons. So Timmy Ho's is good. I like to go to Timmy Ho's when I'm in Canada anyway. And they actually opened up some stores here in Texas, Tim. I don't know if you knew that. In Dallas and Houston, you can get Tim Hortons there too.
I did not know that.
So I don't know if the prices are going to go up at the actual restaurant locations or not. That's going to be interesting as well. So
I
anyway,
audited one before.
What?
A restaurant.
no, you
I
didn't.
bought it.
What'd
Yeah.
you think?
I was good.
Yeah.
I had ice cream and stuff. Kind of like a Brahms.
Yeah, I would rather have personally. I'd rather have Dunkin'.
Yeah.
But
was kinda like
for
more-
drive-through coffee.
Yeah. This was more like coffee, donuts, ice cream, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they usually have some.
lots of desserts, maybe
Yeah.
cakes or
Yeah.
something. It was good.
Yeah, so Tim Hortons is good stuff, but I may have to rethink Tim Hortons to the tariffs. I need another. I buy the big tins of coffee. I may have to get a. Hopefully Amazon stocked up for me. Maybe they've got some more stock before the tariffs hit. So
Again, a good time to buy.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Yeah, exactly. Don't pull your stuff out right now if you can avoid it.
Mhm.
Just hold on what you got and buy more if you can. Is what I would
Yep.
say. So I mean that's again non-professional advice,
Right,
but
Take
hold
it.
what you got, buy what you can. Unless there's just a stock that you're holding on to that you just think will never get back to where it was, then you may want to.
I've even been surprised there sometimes.
That's true. So
Whatever
let's-
I sell by, it's gonna go up.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's enough with the economy and
Yeah.
tariffs and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I think that pretty much summarizes everything. I have not had Black Rifle coffee, Tim. I may try it. I don't know. Joe says just put maple syrup in it. It's Tim Hortons. It's a little different than just maple syrup. But let's talk about some sports, Tim. Let's shift gears here a bit. Tim, I'm super excited for the start of baseball season.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a huge Texas Rangers
I think
fan.
we're off to a good start.
We are 5-2.
Right.
So we've got 3 really good starting pitchers and 2 really terrible starting pitchers.
Okay.
So, but I think that makes us just about like every other team in baseball. So,
Probably so.
I mean, it's really hard right now, but I think we have a good shot to win. I think our offense needs to get a little bit better. Our pitching, the 3 starting pitchers,
So that
DeGrom,
would be
Evaldi, and Leiter have
Okay.
been fantastic. Male and Rocker, not so much.
Okay.
Rocker got rocked. Male came out in like 1.5 innings. So,
Wow.
rough stuff. But, hey, Tim,
It's early.
3 out of 2 ain't bad. That's what I'm
Right.
going to say. And, hey, we're 5-2. Can't argue.
If we go
So-
5-2 the rest of the year, we'd be all right.
Oh, we'd be great.
Mhm.
So, what do you think about the torpedo bats? Let's talk about that for a second. All this, have you heard about that?
A little bit.
Okay, any thoughts?
I don't. Is it making any difference? I don't know.
So, I was trying to tell my boss at work, he's asking about this because he knows I'm a big baseball fan. I'm like, do you realize hitters, there are so many different types of major league hitter, and every hitter hits differently.
Right.
The torpedo bat, though, is specifically designed for guys who have the ball jammed in on them.
Mhm.
It moves the sweet spot down into the bat so that when a jam ball comes in on your fist, it gives you a little bit of a sweet spot there so that you can maybe hit it over for a single. Whereas
Okay.
before, you may have just had like a little doink to
Uh-huh.
like the pitcher and then be able to do it. So here's the thing. If you're the kind of guy, though, that barrels the ball like a, like a judge,
Yeah.
for instance, he ain't helping you.
Right.
Okay, it's
Can't
mainly
see
for guys who get pitches inside close to their
Yeah.
hands.
One of those guys that
If you're
that
crowding
to
the plate.
pitch to every
Right.
time.
If you're
yeah.
the kind of guy who crowds the plate naturally, a torpedo bat is really good for you. Okay, because you're already close in, which means the pitchers are going to probably
So what
pitch
are
you.
they complaining that they're an unfair advantage?
They're not. I don't think there's
Oh.
anything unfair about them. I think
Oh,
it has
yeah.
to do with what kind of hitter you are, as to whether or not it even gives you an advantage. So if you're the kind of hitter, like I said, that crowds the plate and gets jammed inside a lot, I do think a torpedo bat could be better for you. But if you're a power hitter that's used to barreling the barrel of the bat on the ball, I
Yeah.
don't think it'll help you at all. So it really depends on on the type of hitter you are. I would say for any hitter, try it and see if it does better for you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And if it does, good. And if it doesn't, put it away. So, but I don't think it gives you any
So
kind
is
of
it just
advantage.
thicker
more.
down at the bottom?
Yeah, so it just moves the thicker part of the barrel. So it makes it skinnier up at the top, thicker kind of as you taper down to the handle.
Okay.
So more like a torpedo.
Yeah.
Right?
So what happens if you hit it way on the ends? Is it going to shatter every time? or-
No, it's not, but it's not going to give you, it's not as big a sweet spot there as it would be with a normal bat.
Okay.
You know, so like I said, if you're the kind of guy who can put barrel on ball all the time, it doesn't benefit you at all.
Right.
But if you're a guy who gets jammed a lot, it can really
Have you
benefit
seen anybody you think that's using it that's working out for, like their advantage?
Probably some of the Yankees hitters. I couldn't name any like off the top of my head,
Mhm.
but some of the Yankees hitters I think have benefited from it. Not Aaron Judge, but some of the other
Uh-huh.
guys who are, I think fast guys who just want to get a hit and get on base. I think those are the kind of guys that a lot of times crowd the plate. They get jammed a lot. And so if you're the kind of hitter that's like, I just want to get on base, I think it could be a benefit to you.
Okay.
I mean, that's just an opinion.
I'm wondering if some guys will just use it occasionally.
Yeah, you
like
could.
in a certain situation.
Yeah. A lot of people said, isn't it this? Yeah.
Hit.
A lot of people said, isn't it the same as choking up on the bat? Kind of.
Kinda.
So, like when you choke up on the bat, right, it moves your sweet spot a little bit inside. Yeah. So it kind of is a similar thing. It just gives you, it allows you not to have to choke up on the bat. You still get the full handle, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for some guys, it's going to work better. It just depends.
Or my coach, choke up, just try to hit anything. Just try to make contact, right? That was always the goal.
For sure.
Do something.
Hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things in all professional sports, Tim. Let's not forget. So, but anyway, Rangers are 5-2. Very excited about the season. Feeling good, Tim. Like I should. I'm feeling really great for the Dodgers. I think if they're not undefeated, they're pretty close.
Any big surprises so far early?
The Braves. I don't even think the Braves have won a game.
Right.
The Braves are supposed to be contenders.
Right.
Slow start. So Tim Jerkson Profar, who the Braves picked up, who used to be a #1 prospect for us, got busted for performance-enhancing drugs. I don't know if you heard about that. Very sad because I like Jerkson Profar. He had a big year last year, Tim, and people are now starting to wonder if there were some drugs involved in that. Performance-enhancing. Then in the offseason, he signed this a pretty big contract with Atlanta for 3 years. So he's got a guaranteed contract. He's been busted for steroids. Still got the guaranteed contract. So did the steroids help him? Yes, they did. Just something to think about.
So, have you been watching March Madness much?
I didn't get to watch a whole lot. I was rooting for Texas Tech. I was really pulling for them, game. But they couldn't pull it out. So, I mean, it is what it is. But Tim, at this point, Houston is the one I got to root for, right? Texas team.
Yeah, got to root for Texas. Texas
I didn't fill out a bracket. I usually do, like we talked about last time, but I just got too distracted. Tim, I think I would have picked all #1 seeds though.
I thought that. Yeah. Going off, I was like, I don't think there was a
with the transfer portal.
Yeah.
These teams are too good.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they're just better than everybody else.
The 4 best teams.
I may have snuck Texas Tech in there. Right. But that would have been the only deviation, and I probably would have because I hate having all #1 seeds. Like it irks me to do that because it's like that hardly ever happens. Yeah. So I probably would have had Texas Tech in there. That would have been my one that wouldn't have been a #1 seed. I probably would have put all #1 seeds otherwise. So, Tim, this is exactly what we thought we'd get. So, Florida versus Auburn, Houston versus Duke, all happens on Saturday. So, what are your predictions?
As far as playing, like how they're playing lately, I like Duke.
Yes,
I'm not a Duke fan, but I just talk about peaking at the right time. Yep. It's one of those hot streaks, and they're looking really good.
I'm pulling for Houston, but I think Duke's going to win it.
Duke could win it all.
Yeah. Florida, Auburn, Tim.
Between them two, I'll give the advantage probably to Auburn.
Okay.
We'll see.
I feel Florida.
Okay.
So I think it'll be.
So I think Auburn and Florida Duke with Duke winning.
Yeah, I think Florida and Duke with Duke winning. I've got Duke winning either way.
Okay. So, I think so too.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Watch on Saturday. Let us know what your thoughts are there. Tim, let's talk about NHL. Playoffs are coming up on April 19th.
Yeah.
And the Stars are now the #2 seed in the West.
They're playing good.
Okay, so I'm going to have this conversation again with everybody. We have this every time. I feel like around NHL playoffs, ever since 2020 when I really got into hockey. You need to watch playoff hockey.
Right.
It is fantastic. It is one of the best things you can watch for playoffs. Playoff hockey is so much different than regular hockey. It's faster. The hits are bigger. And the games are quick. I mean, you watch it, you sit down to watch a game, Tim, and it's like over before you know it. And they let these guys play a lot of times. There's not a lot, exactly. There's not a lot of ref interference, which is really great, unless it's something that's just obscenely yes, we know you did it on purpose. So it is so much fun. Hockey playoffs are where it's at. Watch the NHL playoffs. They start on April 19th. It's worth your time. So much fun. So much fun. So Stars, pulling for them, Tim. 4th year in a row to make the playoffs. So just saying, we're good. But looking forward to some NHL playoffs here on April 19th. Tim, I'm going to come up to the live chat real quick. Geeklight says, Black Rifle is good but strong. You see, I'm not much for a strong coffee. I'm not. It needs to be weak. Let's say Joe says AK-47 or silencer smooth is my jam. So maybe I need to try the smooth blends for sure. Let's see. Have some silencer smooth in the pipeline. Haven't opened it. Just finished my Just Black K-Cups. I'm not much on K-Cups if I don't have to be. I prefer coffee. Just because I feel like, to make a K-Cup, they have to stale it, and it never tastes the same.
Yeah, I don't. It's convenient. It's good, especially if you're single or you're anybody in your house. Maybe you're the only person that drinks coffee.
Right.
That's a good option.
So if instead of doing the
But-
K-Cups, though, just get the reusable cups
Reusable
where
cups.
you can refill it. It's cheaper anyway. So that's what I do. I get the little filler.
On K-Cups would get me.
Exactly. Joe says, love you guys, but baseball is the most boring thing ever. I like Little League because there's action either way. So here's the thing about baseball. The pitch clock has changed the game.
It has.
The pitch clock makes the game move. So for those of you guys,
faster.
last season they 2023. 2023 they started with a pitch clock, which means that there's the pitcher only has so much time to throw it to the plate after the batter is in the box. Okay, and the batter only has so much time to get in the box.
And they can't jack around either.
No, exactly. So this keeps the game moving. The batter has one timeout he can use in an at-bat, and that's it. Once that's gone, he can't use any more, and the pitch clock keeps the game moving. So where you may have games that normally average 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes, now games average closer to 2 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes. So they cut like 30 minutes off of each game for the most part.
I needed to be done.
And it's fast. It's way faster. So if you haven't watched MLB since they integrated the pitch clock, watch it again and let me know what you think. So I'm just saying. And hockey is awesome. If you think that baseball is boring, watch hockey.
Okay.
So Geeklight says playoff hockey is awesome. Like a pack of wild dogs. It is amazing. Like playoff hockey is insane. It is a different level of fast. It is the fastest sport, Tim, by far. There's no other sport that's as fast as hockey. Just saying. So I'm getting off my soapbox now. NBA playoffs start April 15th, Tim.
Okay.
And somehow, some freaking way, the Mavericks are going to make the play-in. They're number 9 right now out of the 10 that they have to be in the West to make the play-in. Some freaking way, they may make it to the play-in.
Maybe.
And so who knows? But Tim, I don't think they're going to do much beyond that. Anthony Davis is like hurt every game and then somehow manages to play a little bit in every game and dominate. I'm still sad about Luka. I'll be sad about Luka until the day I die, probably. But
it definitely made me lose a lot of interest.
Exactly. I have not watched as much since Luka left.
No.
But if they make the play-in, I'm going to watch.
Okay.
So I will say that. So we'll see what happens. Just going forward from there. Tim, we have WrestleMania this month.
Yeah.
April 19th and 20th. I got my Cody Rhodes shirt on from Austin when we went
that.
there, so I got that on. But looking forward to a good WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, main event for the second night of WrestleMania, Tim. So good stuff. John Cena's a bad guy now. I don't know if you heard.
Yes, I heard.
Okay.
He's a heel now.
Yeah, he's a heel now. So if you haven't seen it, he's been a pretty good heel too. I mean, that probably doesn't surprise anybody. But there you go. Is that all the sports talk?
Yeah, what you been watching on
Okay,
TV?
let's talk about that. Now, Tim, speaking of sports, this is a good transition.
Okay.
We watched Running Point on Netflix. This is the one with
it.
Kate Hudson, where she basically becomes the general manager of a basketball team. Her family owns this basketball team, and her brother has like a bout with addiction. And so she ends up taking over the team and running it, and they're doing terrible. And then she takes it over and tries to right the ship.
Okay.
So it's very much in the vein of Ted Lasso. Not as good as Ted Lasso. We should say that. But it is good, and it's worth your time. And if you're a basketball fan, this is probably something your wife might even like. My wife liked it. Because like I said, it's a lot like Ted Lasso. It's got Ted Lasso is a vehicle for soccer. Soccer is the vehicle, but it's more about the stories.
Okay.
And Running Point is like that. Running Point it has basketball as a vehicle, but it's really about the stories, right? And so not as good as Ted Lasso, but definitely worth your time. Kate Hudson does fantastic. Just like Ted Lasso, Tim, language.
Okay.
Warning up front. But worth your time. It's on Netflix. Check it out. I watched the American Murder Gabby Petito documentary or limited series.
It was really hard to watch.
The reason I watched it was
so
because
good,
I heard an interview with her dad, and they were talking about the series, and they're like, we gave them everything. And when you watch the series, you see everything.
Yeah.
Every bit of it. You see all the videos that she put out there. You see the police videos. You see everything. This is the best, most complete picture of what happened to her that you will ever get.
Yeah.
And so if you want to know more about basically what happened with Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie and the whole story, you need to watch it. It's like 3 episodes, right? 3 episodes, and it will tell you everything you need to know about this case. So if you were somebody like me who was interested in the story when it happened, thought how sad and tragic it was, this will give you the entire story, no holds barred, everything there, and you can make up your own mind, and I'm telling you, he did it. So there's no doubt. So, but you can watch it, and it gives you a lot of the evidence. It's worth your time. Tim, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I knew the story, but honestly, I didn't know the very end.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened to Brian.
Right.
And so it really, it just was sad, but at the same time, it was kind of neat to see it through that lens. That it was very good.
Yes, it was.
Worth watching.
It is the best. It is the best documentary of this type I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't hold anything back.
No, it was almost hard to watch, but yet I'm not glad. I don't wish I hadn't watched it.
Exactly.
It's like, but it was hard.
If you're interested in the details, you need to watch it. I mean, there's nothing else.
I can't imagine
you can watch.
how the family must feel.
Exactly.
Just horrible.
Yeah. So I've been trying to watch The Righteous Gemstones on Max. I watched the first episode, which is kind of a prequel episode, Tim. And so I haven't seen anything past the prequel episode yet, but I'm looking to get to that. Daredevil Born Again, I am caught up except for the most recent episode. And Tim just, liquefied and shoot it in my veins. Boy, it's a good show. It reminds me a lot of like Perry Mason on HBO Max, where you got a street tough lawyer. The only difference is that instead of just being a lawyer, he's also Daredevil. He's Daredevil. So, but that's, he takes these cases that are tough, and in the show at this point, he's trying not to be Daredevil. He's kind of put down the mask. I don't want to give away why. He's kind of put down the mask. And so he's trying just to be a really great lawyer, but of course that can't last.
All right.
You know how it is. He's Daredevil. So, but Tim, something that people don't realize about Daredevil is he's a very Catholic character. Like Catholicism is kind of runs through him. So there's a lot of Christian themes in the show if you watch it. So, Geeklight says he's been watching The Residents and High Potential, or Resistance and High Potential. There you go. Do you know any of those?
No.
I was about to say I am not familiar with either one of those. So give some more details on those and let us know. Tim, I watched the first episode of the second season of Severance. It is now complete. I have not gotten through anywhere past the first one. Have you?
No, you really liked the first. I have not seen the first one.
Oh,
everybody.
Didn't we talk about this? It's the slowest burn ever. So there's a rule people have about like the 3-episode rule. You can give Severance 3 episodes and you still won't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it until the very last episode. Now, with that said, the first episode of the second season. No.
Oh,
they're in.
Hit the ground running.
We're on the roll, bud.
Okay.
And I've heard that the entire season is like that. So if you can get past the slow burn of the first season, which Tim, I think the first season is on the Roku channel.
Okay.
If you have a Roku device.
I do have a Roku channel.
Okay, if you have a Roku device on the Roku channel, I think you can watch it with ads on the Roku channel.
Okay.
So if you want to watch it, you can watch it there. The second season, you have to have Apple TV for. So, but Tim, there's another thing that's on Apple TV right now. That's The Studio. And it's basically, it's got a lot of famous people in it, including Bryan Cranston. And it's about this guy trying to make a movie. And Bryan Cranston's kind of like the studio executive, and like is telling him all this stuff. He's like, we don't like artsy films. You got to make something that makes money. Like it's basically like, this guy who doesn't know really anything about making movies, trying to figure out the formula for making something good. And how studios work behind the scenes. So, it's got what's his name? You would, if you saw him, you know him, and I can't even think of his name at the moment. But one of those, he's a comedian guy. But The Studio looks really good. And Tim, the other one, there's another one that I saw the other day that I heard about that looked really good too on Apple TV Plus. I can't think of it at the moment. It may come to me. Tim, what have you been watching?
So have you seen The Twister?
I have not. I saw it like
you mentioned Gabby Petito.
Yes.
You need to watch The Twister.
Okay.
If you don't know, it's about the large twister that hit Joplin, Missouri.
Okay.
From everybody's video footage. It's real footage.
Okay.
It follows different people.
Right.
Okay. And if you don't know, that tornado killed 186 people.
Golly.
So it was one of the deadliest F5 tornadoes that ever hit. So it shows some people, little footage, like they're just hanging out shooting live shows or whatever they're doing, and some of them are like, man, that's kind of cloudy up there, and next thing you know, they are running for their lives, and it shows real footage. So I think you would enjoy it. It's a real live Twister movie documentary.
Gotcha.
And say Very good.
Is it one episode? Is it like a movie or is it like a show?
I want to think it's one big episode like a movie.
Okay.
It's a docudrama.
Okay.
Docudrama,
Gotcha.
I guess it would be.
Okay.
The other thing I've been watching is Extraction. You know what Extraction is?
Is that the one with the guy from like Sonic 3? What's his name?
No, it's a reality show.
Oh, okay. No, I don't.
So it's basically you take some people who aren't naturally survivalists, average folks. They put them on up. They go up in Canada and they're up in the woods, and they throw them out there with nothing but the shirts on their backs.
Okay.
The family is watching from the control center, so you got 2 family members, and you compete for like sleeping bags and things that you can send them.
Okay.
Or it's
families do.
Yeah, the families do.
Okay.
Okay, it's really rougher on the families because what if you lose and they get nothing? They get an empty box. They don't. It's not. They actually go, oh, finally some supplies. I'm about to die out here. Well, at any time your family chooses, they can hit the extraction button and go and you get rescued.
Okay.
You don't choose. So one guy's like, take me out here. Oh God, I can't make it. No, you can tough it out. You know, he makes it to it. So
I would have like a secret hand symbol or something.
Yeah, they're
like where it's like if I gave you this, you gotta pull me out.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of drama involved in because there's games, and it's kind of like Beast Games. It has a lot of that type of we got
game kind of
it's
stuff,
like
right?
We got 6 players. Here's 5 things. You families vote. Somebody's not getting something. Who doesn't get anything, or who's gonna get which item,
right?
Or you all got to decide, or nobody gets anything. You got 10 seconds. Bye. You know, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you liked it, if you like that, you would like it.
Okay.
Squid Game.
Like Squid Game.
Beast Games.
Style, right?
But it's a thing. I'm looking up the word, Jonathan. So I called it Secret Millionaire. It's actually called The $1 Million Secret.
And this is on Netflix.
Okay. Have you seen?
Is Extraction on Hulu?
Extraction is on Hulu. It comes on. It
ABC?
comes on Fox.
Oh, Fox.
And it's on every Monday night.
Okay.
I'm catching the episodes a couple days later.
Gotcha.
Okay. The next one is called Secret Millionaire. Have you seen
Our millionaire,
that?
our $1 million secret.
$1 Million Secret.
Have
you seen that on Netflix? Okay. So it's another reality show. They're on at this mansion. There's 11 people. Every day you got 11 different boxes. One of them had $1 million in it. So you open your box, I open my box. I got $1 million. I shut the box. You don't. At the end of every episode, they vote somebody out who they think is the millionaire.
Right.
So you do not want to let anybody know you got it. You want to keep the $1 million.
Sure.
But realistically, with 11 people, you don't want it.
Right.
You want it at the end of the game, not the first.
Right.
But so they give you some things to do. Like they say, okay, Jonathan, here was an example. And I thought this was really hard. They're like, you got a day that you're spending with these people. You're hanging out, you're eating dinner, you're swimming, whatever. It says, throughout the day tomorrow, get 3 people to say the word Justin Timberlake. If you do that, only your vote will count on the elimination tonight.
That's
so whoever
crazy.
you do. Or they may say, your vote gets twice. So they may be on to you, but what if you got the power vote, it doesn't matter if they're on to you or not. You're like, I got the $1 million.
Right.
So the $1 million person comes with I'll give you another example. They said they wanted you to get at least 3 people to scream. Okay. But at the same time, they compete with each other in games, and then the group that wins goes into what they call the trophy room. In the trophy room, they get clues about who the millionaire is. So they said this could be a famous horror film, and people just start listing stuff. Jason, Freddy, and then finally somebody says Scream. Well, they remembered this guy trying to get everybody to scream earlier.
Right.
Well, see that. So that's how the game is played. Anyway, it really is more interesting than you think. And it's you get your favorites.
I mean, never mind like what you're talking
about.
A lot of
strategy.
Getting people to do that. One of the radio talk shows that I listen to, they'll go to the Super Bowl and they'll have stuff like that set up. Because at Super Bowl you get like 1 million interviews with people.
Yeah.
And so they'll say, okay, you've got to get at least 3 of the guests that we're gonna have this today to say the word juicy.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so or you've got to use the word juicy in a sentence 3 times when you interview this guy.
And so they don't want to do anything that's gonna. They're looking. They're saying who's acting weird, who's doing something crazy. One lady kept falling down, and they said, "You're supposed to fall down. Is that part of the thing?" And so they're thinking she has it, and it's this other guy. And some of the stuff is really hard. One of them was a whole bunch of songs from the 80s. It was like, "Don't Stop Believing." You had to use all this stuff in a phrase, and she had to bring it up in conversation where it didn't look suspicious.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, cry me a river," and stuff. So anyway, it's kind of fun, lighthearted, and they release about 3 episodes a week. So
Gotcha.
I watch them all as soon as they come out.
$1 Million Secret.
$1 Million Secret.
Razor Show says, "I love Severance. It's crazy and completely effed up," and he is correct.
Yeah.
And it is very entertaining. So
you've mentioned it more than once.
It is the slowest burn ever. So if you're gonna watch it, I probably started the thing like 3-4 times before I got through it. But once I got through it, boy, it was worth it. So okay, let me see if I can open this.
I was gonna say you gotta open. We're almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
we like to
wrap it up.
Cut off, but thank you guys for
thank you for
watching. Let's see what happens.
About to say, hopefully we got something good. Okay, paperclip to the rescue, Tim. We got that. Tim's over here checking his work email.
Yeah, I got 4 come in. I wanted to make sure it was nothing that was.
So this is a Topps Series 1 2025 Major League Baseball Easter egg.
Okay.
That's what is this? So, and there it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
So you get the egg just to keep.
Yeah, the egg is just kind of like decoration, right? So we have a nice pack of cards here.
I think it said there's 51, and one of them is supposed to be a special.
Okay, so this has this is the RBI leaders. It looks like American League. We got Aaron Judge, we got Jose Ramirez, and we've got Rooker. I don't know who Rooker is. He's for the Oakland A's. So B Rooker, which is Brent Rooker. So there you go. Aaron Judge, Jose Ramirez, and Brent Rooker. A 3 card.
Okay.
So we got the RBI leaders right there. We have Zach Wheeler for the Philadelphia Phillies. We got Tyler Stevenson for the Cincinnati Reds. Let's see. Christian, if you want to see him too. Christian Mena for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Will Brennan for Cleveland. It's the Guardians. I'm so bad with it's the Guardians. I keep calling them the Indians. I can't help it.
Okay.
Dylan Cease, San Diego, Tim. Dylan Cease, big guy, right? Very popular. Michael McGreevy for St. Louis, the Cardinals. We have bad feelings about St. Louis, right, Tim?
Yep.
Paul Blackburn for the New York Mets. Hiro Estrada for
San Francisco. We still haven't had a special card.
No, they're all pretty, except for maybe the RBI leader card over here. Tyler Phillips for the Phillies.
Okay.
He's good.
No mega stars yet.
I don't know how to say this guy. Brandon Fat. I think it's Fats.
Okay.
Again, you see it? It's PFAADT.
Fat.
Yeah. Fat. So, but he's a pitcher apparently.
Okay.
For the Diamondbacks. Sonny Gray, Tim. A lot of people know Sonny Gray. St. Louis. Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, we heard of him.
Yeah. So Los Angeles Dodgers. Casey Mize for the Detroit Tigers. They kind of got off to a slow start. Jung-Hoo Lee, San Francisco Giants.
The Rangers?
No Rangers yet.
No Rangers yet.
Jack Kochanowicz, Kochanowicz, I believe. And he is for the Angels in the 10 Angels.
All right.
Connor Wong, Boston. I know Connor Wong. We just played Boston.
Yep, we did.
Ryan Jeffers, Minnesota. Jake Irvin, Washington. So the Washington Nationals. We got another triple card here, Tim. Okay, and it's got Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, and let's see, Shata Imanaga,
Okay.
I believe. So these are the National League ERA leaders for 2024.
Okay, didn't even know that.
Yep. Cedric Mullins for Baltimore.
Okay.
Royce Lewis from Minnesota. Ooh.
I was going to say, we're fixing that right now.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the
Yay.
Blue Jays. Is he going to get paid is the question. Because he's contracts, they're trying to re-sign him. He's kind of the face of the franchise, right?
Okay.
But they can't agree on money. Last I heard, they were $10 million apart.
Wow.
Okay, we have a National League home run leaders, Tim. Maybe you heard this guy, Shohei Ohtani.
I've heard of him.
Okay. Marcell Ozuna. Have you heard of that guy? And then Kyle Schwarber. You've probably heard of all of those guys. All those guys are pretty good. We still have not got any Rangers.
Yeah.
Orlando Arcia. Okay, and he's for Atlanta. Ooh, this one looks kind of special. It's got like the no. I guess they all have the no. That one's got the gold foil, right? No, gold foil versus the silver, right?
Yeah.
So Christian Yelich, very familiar, I think, to
Okay.
most people for the Brewers. Will Warren, pitcher for the Yankees. Mike Tauchman, I think. Tauchman for the Cubs. Jazz Chisholm Jr., Tim, for the
Okay.
Yankees. Pretty well-known guy. A lot of people are Yankee fans. Ooh, this is a future stars, Jackson Holiday. Jackson
Okay.
Holiday, Tim, is I
Roy
think he's
Halladay,
gonna be a big deal.
Okay.
Soon. Might be a nice rookie card. Nico Hornerer, I guess, for the Cubs. Still no Rangers. Edwin Diaz for the Mets.
Okay.
So
We ain't got your special card
yeah,
yet. It's
Sedan Rafala for Boston.
coming. Okay.
Okay. This one has, it's a little bit more, like I said, the foil's a little bit different. It says let's dance all the right moves for Atlanta. It says a powerful outfield helps the 2024 Braves stay festive. So it's like a team card, right? Team
Okay.
card.
Team card, yeah.
Gunnar Henderson. This guy's amazing for
Yeah.
Baltimore.
That's
right
not
there.
bad.
Yep. Joe Ryan from Minnesota. Dalton Varsho for Blue Jays. Okay, this one is a 24 American League home run leaders. We got, of course, Aaron Judge, Tim, Anthony Santander for Baltimore, and Juan Soto, of course. For
So you got both home run.
Yeah, we got
cards.
the home runs and one
American.
of the pitching ones, right? The ERA. Lawrence Butler for Oakland. Jesus Sanchez for Minnesota. Tim, oh, are we backwards here? Oh, I gotta see a special card.
So when you get the
Looks like-
backwards.
Ooh,
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Carlos Rodriguez in like a little purple foil there. You can see it.
Okay. So this is your.
Oh, and the
Rare
same thing
card.
with Chris Bassett. We got
I
a
got
little
two
bit
of
of a
them.
rainbow style.
Iridescent?
Yeah, iridescent is that what they call it?
I think so.
Tanner Hewitt Hook. Tanner Hook, I believe.
Alright, got a
Boston.
couple
Oh,
special
look at
cards.
this.
Got a throwback card.
Throwback card, Barry Larkin.
Wow.
In the old school 90s tops. 92, right? Like 92 tops. That's 35th anniversary card. Tim.
Okay.
So there we go. Barry
Barry
Larkin.
Larkin. Wow.
So guys, I just watched this guy hit because we just played the Reds. Ellie De La Cruz. Have you seen this
that's
guy?
a good. Yeah,
This guy is amazing.
that's a good one.
Yeah. So Ellie De La Cruz for you Cincinnati Reds fans.
I'm
That
putting
guy
him up
is,
on the top.
Yeah, exactly. So
Maybe the best card. It's different too.
it is different. Yeah, it has like a
this is
different.
your.
Cedric Mullins for Baltimore, and Tim, this has a different background on it. See
Okay.
that? It's got kind of the greenish.
Yeah, so you did get
Same
some
thing here.
special
We've got
cards.
Luis Robert Jr. for the White Sox. I still have not got any Ranger cards. Lots of Yankees, though. Oh, another special one here. Carlos Navarez.
Yeah.
Jake Bloss for Toronto. Tarek Struble for
Mhm.
Detroit. He's good.
That one looks different.
Marco Luciano for San Francisco.
It's got some kind of gold foil or
Yeah,
something.
Dylan Cruz for the Nationals. We have our first Texas card. Goodness.
Oh wow.
Justin Verlander for Houston. We know that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting some American League West here. Logan Gilbert for Seattle. So let's see. Justin Robleski, something
Okay.
like that for the Dodgers. Jeremy Pena for Houston. Again, we're getting some American League West now. Brian Wu for Seattle. Nick Sogard, Boston. Will Benson, Cincinnati. And Bryce Harper, the Phillies.
Okay.
Not one Ranger.
Not one single Ranger.
That's okay.
But-
It's cool.
but
Man, the Ellie De La
this-
Cruz is amazing.
That one could be your.
Yeah.
That one needs to go in a sleeve.
Oh,
Probably.
for sure. Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz for sure. So thank you, Tim.
You're
so
welcome.
much fun. Well, thanks for putting up with us
Thank you,
opening
guys.
up some cards here. I know it's kind of boring for those of you guys who don't like baseball, but it is what it is. So it's still fun, guys. It's still fun to collect cards. That's what I figured out. So good stuff. Well, anyway, guys, we're out of here. May 1st, episode 99, the last one in double digits. Hopefully, we'll see you there. And
See you
otherwise,
guys later.
have a good night. Thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing you next time. We out.
Night. done deal. Game over's never final in their domain. Tim and Jonathan, they break the chains. Insert coin, life's battleground. Arcade champions, never backing down. Cable and guts, uncharted maze. LEDs flicker in the cosmic haze. Laser focused with the tools they wield. Endless quarters, they never yield. Bane of glitches, saviors of the score. From dusk till dawn, they battle more. Tim and Jonathan, fate's decree, guardian angels of the arcade spree. Game over's never final in their domain. Tim and Jonathan, they break the chains. Insert coin, life's battleground. Arcade champions, never backing down. Bane of glitches, saviors of the score. From dusk till dawn, they battle more. Tim, Jonathan,